UGA, game day, boy, we ball out. Pull up, put the whole conference in the doghouse. Leave them 6 feet, see me on the win streak. All-star status, go coach, and the bench deep. Right. Offense on 10, how we run it? Your best ain't nothing, we gon' send them boys punting. Yeah. Black and red, got them dead on arrival. Defense hunker down for the tie. Hey, hey, you don't want it with the dogs. Found guy on it, you don't want it with my dog. Break it down, play by play, that's the day-to-day. Yeah. They know we ain't come to play, boy, it's UGA. Right. Kirby smart, I cannot play the fool. Back to back, we did not come to lose. Back to back, like we got something to prove. Pay your dues, dog nation on the move. What's up?
We doing a little bit different around here.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The tape.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Shut up and grind the tape.
Shut up. Let's grind.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Them dogs in your face. Shut up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The
Shut
tape.
up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape. Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro.
Shut up. The tape. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You really like that? Let's shut up and grind some tape. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film Guy Network on a fabulous Tuesday evening here inside the studio. Got an absolutely loaded one for you guys today. Mike Elko giving quotes to the homie J.D. Piquel going viral. We'll talk about that. Michigan fired their general manager. We'll give our thoughts on that as well. We have our offseason editions. I promise, I swear, I promise to you, we will bring you the offseason edition segment tonight. We got Auburn tonight, boys. I had a commenter tell me they watched all 2 hours last night, searching, waiting, praying for the Auburn offseason edition segment to pop up. We've got that for you guys tonight, I promise. We cannot go out of the national hour without hitting that. We've also got top fives tonight, several top fives tonight on the show, plural. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're fired off in the chat. We are live right now, right? Just making sure, because my Wi-Fi over here completely crashed. Got no idea what's going on right now, so that's good to know. Oh, we're back. We're back right there. So what's up? Fire off in that chat. Hit that thumbs up button. Like, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. Always say like, subscribe, rate, review, because we are made readily available wherever you get your podcast. Are people still podding? People still doing podcasts? I do
it every day.
Like doing
y'all listen to podcasts?
I'll do it every now and then,
okay.
Yeah.
I thought the whole industry had just moved to here. I mean, the whole objective is to get you here and where is here? Here is YouTube. Okay, we want you here. We want you firing off. We want you subscribing. We hit 100K on Twitter today. Hope to hit 100K on YouTube pretty soon. I think we're at like 94.13, something like that. Not that I pay attention to it every day. We're trying to get to 100K as soon as possible. Make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already and telling a friend. All right, let's start with the news as we always do around here, boys. I guess it's news. Michigan fired their general manager, Sean McGee. Kyle Whittingham didn't just fire the general manager today, though. He cleared the entire scouting and personnel department, like everybody, basically. All of the major heads rolled in that scouting department. And it seemed to me, guys, this was let's keep everything intact until after National Signing Day. And then let's have about a month of meetings. And then let's clear house. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a good decision to make sure, at least, first of all, everything stayed intact for National Signing Day. That's good. Whatever could remain intact. They lost several signees because of the Shawn Moore news being right after signing day. And guys like Barry McWhorter and Brady Marchese got out of their national letter of intent. Honestly, a bullet dodge there. That one not being in Athens, because that name perplexes
You'd
yours truly.
Out, don't worry.
Marchese. I would have figured it out eventually. But no, they kept some of that 2026 class intact, and then just pillage the village on the entire staff. What?
Apparently it's Christian's birthday.
It's not my birthday, but thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Chat says otherwise.
I put your birthday into an NFL credential site today.
going to the combine?
I don't think your birthday is today.
It is not today.
Okay.
But I appreciate all the warm wishes, guys. You're a little early.
Your December birthday, right?
Correct.
Late, early. How would you phrase it?
Early. You're always early. But no, I mean, this Michigan thing is I think the perfect example of Kyle Whittingham going in and saying, all right, the shit y'all been doing the last 2 to 3 years obviously isn't working. It got y'all where you are now. You can go out and get on. This is my program now.
To me, I didn't think, apart from wide receivers, I thought Michigan's had good football players across the board every time I've watched them. I don't know how you guys feel about that roster.
They've been a talented roster for sure. There's
Yeah.
no denying that. I think that the problem is that when you have the talent that doesn't necessarily equal to the results on the field, or you have the issues that you are having on the field that Michigan was, stuff like that has to be addressed.
Do you think this is any coincidence, considering that Utah didn't have a general manager until they switched head coaches?
It's a great point there, Jonathan. All of these coaches view this role of general manager totally different, right? Like at Oklahoma, I'm under the impression that Jim Nagy controls the roster. Brent Venables coaches the roster. At Georgia, they ain't no damn GM. Kirby Smart is that. At Alabama, Kalen DeBoer's got a very tight-knit relationship with Courtney Morgan, but I don't know if Courtney Morgan's as much of a general manager as he is the right-hand man of the head football coach. Everything, I'm under the impression Courtney, helps out with football operations, like what we're actually doing, not just getting players. So that's a totally different role. Whereas, Kyle Whittingham's I don't need none of that. Mm-hmm. And then there are other people that hire these guys. And it's just different. It's a very different role. I was telling the guys before the show, it's unlike anything I've ever seen in the sporting world. Offensive coordinators, they do it differently, but they all have the same role. You run the offense. Defensive coordinators all have the same role. You run the defense. NFL general managers all have the same role. You control the roster. Not down here in college football. This sporting role varies at every football facility. I think it's very unique. It's a different time, that's for sure, with regards to college football.
Yeah, and I mean, again, this is a new head coach coming into a program where a previous person was the general manager. Maybe don't want somebody that you didn't hire kind of making the overall decisions, or however the general manager was operating up there at Michigan. There's probably going to be a different type of view, just how in the NFL, typically if you let go of a head coach, you're going to see a change in general manager. It just kind of ebbs and flows together.
Yeah, I think that this honestly could end up being beneficial to Michigan. It's obvious that Kyle Whittingham is getting the staff and the structure that he wants within this program, and it's going to be his program. So I think that's probably a good sign. I don't think this is anything that's tied to, they're smoking weed in the locker rooms or the other scandals that have been taking place at Michigan. I don't know if this was a your cancer, get out of here type.
I mean, of all the storylines for me to have collected on a Monday night show last night, for me to go 2 hours without putting that in the show notes was crazy. That's a fault on me.
Don't worry, I got you.
You did. You did get me in the middle of the show. You're like, hey, by the way, Michigan football players were smoking dope in the locker room. Do you remember? Did you see?
Did you see this?
Did you see the news that there were Power 4 football players hotboxing their locker?
Oh, man.
That's one of those stories that if it were 20 years ago would be a scandal. Now it's a joke on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 years ago it's, don't you ever send your kid to Michigan ever to play football. Do you see what they've got going on over there? Now
now it's Ohio State guys being like, at least our players smoke outside the building.
They step out on the porch.
I think the good comparison to this would be the 7th Floor Crew, where it's like a couple of college kids made a rap song, and the entire industry was like, they're thugs. What the hell is this?
I think the 3rd Floor Crew would have been all right had they not mentioned fellatio. Theory.
But yeah, it was.
Or the idea that your name is Greg and you may or may not have a third leg.
He does not like it when that's brought up.
Yeah, I know. Quite a image turn. Obviously, you're a wrestling person.
Yeah.
There's heel turns. What's the opposite of said such?
Turning face.
Turning face.
Yeah, you go from heel to face.
I like that. It reminds me of that. Nah, we're good there. I'm good on the Michigan story. I'm also good on head football coaches saying that we need a commissioner or that we need a person in charge. Now, I am here for J.D. Piquel getting all these coaching interviews because I think J.D. does a great job of getting these guys to actually say something without provoking them to say something. Have you noticed this?
Yes.
J.D.'s getting great quotes, but it's not like he's out there trying to get coach to step in it. When I feel like most interviewees that are going for that type of stuff are trying their best to get these types of clips.
Yeah.
And these are coming out organically. Like this one yesterday, 2 days ago, Mike Elko goes on the hard count with J.D. Piquel, friend of the show, and basically says, like, can we get a decision maker in college football? He mentioned it's a $1.2 billion industry, and nobody is a controlling voice of the sport.
I get it. I agree that they're obviously a figure or someone that could enforce the rules that needs to be enforced in this sport would absolutely be beneficial. It would be really good to have something to where if you break the rules or if you do something outside the lines, you're drawn back, and to have this figure doing so. I do find it funny how in all the lead up to this, there was an organization called the NCAA that had all this power, and for years it was vilified and said it was evil, and everyone preyed on its downfall to the point where now the NCAA basically has no power or has as little power as it ever has, and people are like, we need leadership, we need one guy. The idea that you're going to go from an entity that everyone hated to this one guy, this one figure, and they're going to be a beloved college football commissioner is hilarious to me. Yeah,
that's my whole question about all this. And it's such a layup take. Like, we need somebody to control the sport. Yeah, we do. We absolutely do. But will y'all actually listen to him? Will you actually give him power, he or her, whoever it is? If y'all assign somebody to be a college commissioner of the sport of football, well, will your presidents get off their high horse and actually allow them to do what they're supposed to? Or are they all going to be finding a competitive advantage to try to get around the rules like they have been for, 140 years? We've talked about this ad nauseum on this network. Until y'all actually give someone deciding power, then maybe it'll change something. Also, even if you do give the commissioner power to insert rules on your sport, anybody going to do anything about that antitrust lawsuit? Anybody going to do anything about the fact that your employees aren't employees? Anybody going to do anything about that? Because until that, we can't actually govern the sport. There is nothing to govern. There's no power to be had because we all know that the antitrust lawsuit is the actual problem. So here's my thing. Not to get political. Here's my thing. Stop telling me that you need a commissioner. Stop coming out here and getting 2,000 likes on Twitter, being a boisterous man saying, please, somebody, bring me a commissioner. What you need to be asking for as a college football coach that actually has a platform, not just a microphone that has 100,000 followers or whatever we have around here, whatever voice we have, come out and ask for an executive order because that's what needs to happen. And until that happens, I don't think we're going to get this solved because, again, not to get political, and we're going to lose a lot of what we actually have in terms of audience right now, talking over the head of football fans. But getting over antitrust lawsuits is a bipartisan issue. It is something that has to go through both Republicans and Democrats. And the way to bypass that is for the President of the United States to be like, hey, here's the executive order. Here's how things are going to change. Now, again, not to be too political, but Urban Meyer and Nick Saban were golfing with Donald Trump yesterday. Just going to let you know that. Bet y'all didn't know that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. So that's what needs to happen. And until somebody, again, it raises up red flags nowadays when you mention anything political, but that's the only way this is getting fixed. That's the only way we're bypassing antitrust. Oh, you want to set a cap limit on what young people can make? You think that's getting passed through Supreme Court? Okay, get out of here.
Not only is it getting passed, it's enforcing. I like this idea that a cap needs to be in place is one of the most counterproductive things to me. We had a cap. It was zero. Mm-hmm. You could not make money as an NCAA student athlete, and they were still making money. The idea that all of a sudden if it's, all right, well, the cap is now $25 million, that's all of a sudden going to be followed. Hell no, it's not. Like the enforcement and the idea that rules are going to be taking place in this is ludicrous. You just have to find a body that's big enough that can actually punish these schools that when it's taking place. If there were death penalties being handed out like there were at SMU in the 80s or other type of punishments given, there would be some sort of rule following in this, but there isn't. People are realizing they aren't going to get punished for what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, my whole opinion on this is, sure, it'd be great to have somebody that would be a voice in college football, but I think again, like, like I talked about yesterday with how I feel like we missed a beat with college football when we decided to vote on a new redshirt rule instead of talking about other issues in college football.
Yeah.
I think this is a similar point of, voicing college football would be great, but there's other things that need to be fixed before we vote upon or name somebody a commissioner of college football, because ultimately we can do that. We can name somebody that, but it wouldn't mean anything right now unless we fix other things that are more dire needs.
It's the old chicken before the egg discussion.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Cart before the horse.
Yeah.
There you go, cart before the horse.
I mean, we got to kind of allow power to be had before we put somebody in power.
Exactly.
That might be ideal. Also, by the way, this commissioner, if he or she ever is elected, will be the most hated person in college football. I can guarantee it right now.
Won't take long.
That is not a job for someone who wants high PR. Just ask Roger Goodell, okay? Because Roger Goodell has overseen the most profitable era of NFL football, and don't nobody like that guy. Nobody. All you do as a commissioner is you are the literal whipping post for the 32 decision makers in the NFL. They tell you what to do, and you go be the face of that, and you take all of the brunt for that. Same thing in college football, except for instead of 32 of them, there's 65 presidents that matter. Okay, so that's all you are. You're a shill for those actual decision makers behind the scenes. That's what a commissioner's always been.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the idea, and again, I understand the idea behind the premise of, we just need we got to have someone making the decisions. The fact that there's a big group doing this is ludicrous. I promise you're not one Josh Pate away from fixing college football.
No.
As fun as an idea that sounds, and no disrespect to Josh Pate there. It's
dude.
much deeper than that.
I think if you gave him truth serum, he'd be like, I don't want that job. it's an awesome, what do you call it, marketing ad for him? I mean, every time it gets brought up, the mentions are just, at Josh Pate, my vote for commissioner. I don't think he'd ever run for it. I think he's way smarter than that. I think he knows what we know, is that commissioners are unanimously disliked all the time. And there's that, chat's got a great one. No one's going to be hated more than Rob Manfred. You won't do it worse than that guy's done it.
Don't get me started.
In the MLB. See what I mean?
Don't get me started.
So there are some guys who have, Adam Silver was the only guy that ever had a positive PR, in my opinion, as a commissioner. And I would argue that thing's gone downhill.
Yeah, he has an opportunity to have a massive uptick in that, but for now, it remains the same.
What's the opportunity?
Well, there's just an opportunity for different changes to be made in the league right now. Something could be done about tanking right now. We're talking about expanding the league when we're already talking about maybe the season being too long, loss of money, all this stuff. There's massive amounts of opportunity for Adam Silver to have an uptick in his PR, but ultimately we need more money. Money.
Here's how you fix
Josh Pate ain't sick. He knew YouTube was going to crash tonight.
Is that what's happening?
YouTube mobile is up. YouTube on the laptop is not over here.
Well, I've also heard it's down on mobile as well.
So
my YouTube's fine.
It is fine on my laptop.
Touch and go. I guess people will watch it when they watch it. That guy got inside sources at YouTube. Undisclosed illness was YouTube sick. That guy knows something. Something's up.
A virus.
That guy doesn't get sick.
Well, I mean, computer virus.
Well, you said he's not a human being?
No, I just think he's like you. I don't think he allows. Who
is he, Chuck Norris?
No. These guys are like Rob Lowe in Parks and Rec. These guys are like, I can't put sand in the machine. It won't operate correctly.
I mean, that's right. I do get sick every now and then, though. I'm not a robot, guys.
I don't know. Rob Lowe was pretty robotic in that show.
You just got to take your vitamins.
The vitamins.
That's all.
Always loved the way Bear Grylls said vitamins.
Yeah.
I'm good on the commissioner's story. Are y'all?
Yeah, I don't think there needs to be too much more discussed about that.
I think we're good there. What we do have time for is top fives.
I love
I love a good top
we
five.
We got loads of top fives tonight.
Oh, you said plural.
I got top fives on top fives on top fives. I have 3 top fives.
Do you?
Yep.
I have 3 top 5s as well.
What?
Yeah.
So we have 6 top 5s. Jonathan, how many top 5s do you have?
3.
So
9?
We have 9 top 5s tonight?
Wow.
All right, here we go. Well, it's really 3 sets of the same top 5s. Top 5 happiest fan bases. Top 5 uneasy fan bases. Top 5 hopeful fan bases. Which one should we start with? Should we start with the good news?
The good news?
The good news. Let's start with the good news. Who's happy, gentlemen? Number one's unanimous.
Indiana.
Indiana.
The happiest of all college football fan bases right now.
All 800,000 alumnus.
Yeah, hard to not be happy after being the worst team in college football historically, going 16-0, having a number 1 overall quarterback eventually and a Heisman winner. Pretty sweet.
You know what I can't wait for? I can't wait for Oklahoma City / Yankees / Indiana / you know what I'm saying? Where they used to do these profiles. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The bandwagoners. Yeah. We're about to add Indiana. Gone is Bama. We get to keep our crimson colors. And here comes Indiana into the Twitter bio. It's going to happen soon.
I could see it.
I mean, the Bama fan base 2X'd, 3X'd during the Saban run.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like, how many newfound Indiana fans we going to find?
I think Indiana's got to sustain this success for a while.
Okay.
I think you got – because, like, people – especially in our location, like, we're in the Southeast, you can come up with the excuse, oh, dude, my grandma or my cousin or so-and-so went to Bama. Like, you can kind of slide on the radar. You're going to have a hard time convincing me that if you grew up in the Southeast –
I'm a diehard Hoosier, baby.
Yeah.
I'm a diehard.
I'm a day one.
I'm a day one Hoosier guy.
I don't know if you can convince me of that. So that's why I think we saw the Bama fan base in our general region, but
I was sifting through the weeds of the Tom Allen days, all right?
Yeah, no, I don't know if we're buying that.
Okay. But Indiana is number 1. I had a hard time figuring out 2 through 5.
Well,
I didn't.
I put Miami at 2.
I felt like this was super easy for me.
All right, well, let's hear it.
Let's hear yours.
All right, I had Indiana on my list. I had Ohio State. I mean, you're still very recently removed from a national title, still a very dominant force in the Big Ten, always relevant under Ryan Day so far. I would say Georgia fans are very happy still. You give a smirk right now. I disagree with that completely.
I did not put Georgia on my list.
I didn't either. They're not on mine.
And here's my reason, Jay Will.
Go ahead.
This team, as someone who is in the fan base and has no complaints about things, the way things are going, this team is not happy if they're not at the very least competing for national titles every season, and they haven't done it in 3 years.
They've been competing for national titles every single season. They have been in the playoff.
Getting to like very close to the national title.
See, and I think that's the wrong outlook.
I agree.
In my opinion, as a fan. Like,
I agree.
Georgia has been the most relevant program for the last decade in college football. The most relevant program, like consistently, the most consistently relevant program in college football for an entire decade.
Jonathan, we interact with that fan base on a day-to-day basis.
Sure.
They ain't happy right now. They're not unhappy. They're not uneasy. They're not hopeful. They don't think the last 2 years have been good enough.
Okay, well, I'm sorry that back-to-back SEC titles are not good enough for you, and being in the expanded playoff back-to-back years
and look,
is not good enough for you.
I'm more than okay turning this into a "you are not grateful" segment. I'm more than okay with that.
For anybody that feels that way.
Yeah, but no, like if you mention Mike Bobo, there's a good chance 60% of the fan base starts getting mad.
I mean, in 3 seasons, you've lost 3 regular season games.
Yeah. No,
they should be happy.
They should be.
And again, I'm not arguing with y'all, but I'm saying, like, to me, in my personal opinion, whether or not they are or not, that should be one of the happiest fan bases in college football.
Here's where I went, and I think you missed this fan base. Ole Miss fans have to be in this mix.
Oh, they're on my list.
They were?
They're on my list.
Maybe I wasn't listening.
Well, I only got to Georgia.
Oh, and then we lambasted you.
I had Ohio State, Indiana, Georgia. Vanderbilt is on this list as well.
Yeah,
Vanderbilt's then Ole Miss.
Okay.
I have Indiana, Miami, Vanderbilt, LSU, and Texas Tech. I think
that's why teams like LSU are why I opened up the hopeful category.
Here's my thing for I think why LSU fans are happy. Because they think that Lane Kiffin is as much of a sure thing as possible, and you just went from a head coach that you didn't necessarily love. LSU fans weren't crazy about Brian Kelly. When he got fired, it was like a very joyous, like, oh, we got him out of here. Finally, we got her. And then you went and got the best available head coach you could have. Lane Kiffin was at the top of everyone's boards, and you got him. You got him to leave a school mid-college football playoff run. You feel pretty happy if you're LSU. Now, the success hasn't come yet, so there's a lot of hope that comes with that. But LSU fans, I would say, are happy with where their program is at right now.
I have them on a different top 5.
Okay.
I think they more belong in that category than maybe happiest at this moment.
Another team I put was Texas Tech, and I'm open to saying there should be other teams on here, but when you're recruiting as well as this team has, when the outlook is as good as this team is, you just came off a Big 12 championship. I know that things didn't go the way you wanted to in the college football playoff, but from where your program was 5 years ago to where it is now, if I'm a Red Raider, I'm very, very happy. So those are my 5 teams.
Indiana, Ole Miss, Miami. I'm with you on Ohio State, just not that high. How about Va Tech?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
They got to be happy right now.
Yes. I honestly
guys, I think James Franklin's like a top 15 coach.
Honestly, I might put Virginia Tech over Texas Tech.
I feel like this is again going like same with the LSU. My opinion on the LSU take it being in this category. I think Va Tech fans should be in a different category here.
Of hopeful?
Yeah, I think that's more hopeful.
I don't know, dude. They just went
But like that's where you're at
shit.
though. Like when you get a new head coaching hire, like when you get a Lane Kiffin after having a Brian Kelly, obviously you are happy with the hire, but more than anything, you are hopeful that this is the one. This is the one that gets us to winning a national title, or this is the one that gets us to being at the top of the conference.
By the way, Chad did circle back on us and made a tremendous correction on the Georgia debate. They being the group that is unhappy, they are 9 times out of 10 always unhappy.
Yeah, unless you win a national title.
Correct. Which
basically
makes them relatively. We don't really have to speak to them.
Again, my entire point on that is you may never experience an era of Georgia football like this ever again. So
I would
if
argue you won't.
If you can't be happy in this era, then you might want to stop being a fan of any college football team and just focus on something else.
If it don't get better than constantly top 5, I do.
Like seriously, if you can't be happy now, like you're in it for the wrong things.
That's a great point.
So, but do you want to move on to top 5 most hopeful?
Is there anybody we missed?
I really like the Virginia Tech shot.
Virginia Tech is
I would honestly put them over Texas Tech in my opinion. And I know that Texas Tech has had much better results.
Now, like I wouldn't put them in the category of like top 5 happiest, but like I know that many people when you mention this program right now in this category probably think you're an idiot, but I would still say that Colorado fans are very happy, in my opinion. I would still say that they're happy. Now, this could go off a cliff, and it looks like it might do that based on what last season looked like. But I also saw where Julian Lewis was ranked as one of the top quarterbacks in college football heading into this season by one outlet. Yeah, exactly.
A meaningful outlet?
It had a check mark. That's all, and it had tons of followers. I've never heard of them, though.
Okay, so no.
So,
all right.
No.
I think.
I mean, I'm a Julian Lewis guy.
I am too. That's nothing against Julian Lewis.
He's gonna be good,
but one of the best in the country. I don't know if I'm going that far.
Talk about college shots.
I think Colorado fans are at the point where they're certainly not unhappy. I don't know if they're happy anymore.
Sure, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, not in the top 5 range by any means, but still probably not unpleased fan base.
I have not seen or stumbled upon one singular Deion Sanders has to go, fire Deion Sanders from any Colorado fan bases. Now, again, I don't run in that circle a ton, but you find the memes if they're there.
Texas A&M fans have to be pretty happy.
Oh, we missed one. Illinois fans are happy. And we got a we were horrible for so long.
Yeah.
We got a fight in Illini in the chat. Mm-hmm. How about that?
Hell
yeah. Illinois fans certainly
That's how you know Illinois football is up. It's February 17th, and this joker's watching college football live streams.
He's a sicko, bro.
He's a sicko, baby. He's a fighting Illini sicko. I didn't know those existed. Mm-hmm. Good to know. Now they do. A couple of 9 winners from Brett Bielema will do that. Mm-hmm. That's good. They're up. They're happy. I like to hear that. Top 5 uneasy fan bases.
We haven't done hopeful yet.
You want to do hopeful first?
We're going to work our way down.
Okay, we'll work our way down to the vegetables. Mm-hmm. I like that.
Whoa! The what?
I think you meant
like if it were on a food. I mean the things I don't like last. Yeah.
See, I was always attack those first, but
that's the opposite of what we're doing. So I'm going with the analogy here.
Okay, all right.
Yep. Top 5 most hopefuls. You want it 5 to 1 or 1 to 5?
5 to 1.
Actually, I wrote this to transition into offseason editions, but we can come back to that. No need for a smooth transition. You want it 5 to 1?
Yeah.
Number 5, Auburn.
I have them on my list as well. They're actually my number 5.
You know what? I got a new rule. If you're a sicko, you're for me. I think Alex Golish is a sicko. Mm-hmm. I think John Summerall's a sicko. I think Kirby Smart's a sicko.
Yeah.
I thought Nick Saban was a sicko. Dan Lanning's a sicko. I think you got kind of like I think it runs in the successful ones.
I do wonder how much of that hope has worn off for Auburn fans because you're on your third, hey, this might be the right guy for you in about 7 seasons. All right, we've heard all this before. Like I feel like Florida's kind of in the same category of, John Summerall might be great and there's a lot of promise there, but we've also seen this
Golesh checks the most important box for optimism in Auburn. Have you beaten the shit out of Alabama? And he has.
Yeah.
He gave him 45 that one time at home.
Yeah, I don't know if I
and
put
he
it
gave him a sweat twice in South Florida.
But yeah, I mean, he scared the shit.
Buddy, 45 at home. That was beating the hell up out of an Alabama defense.
Beat him though. But
he did though. He didn't control the defense. He was the
Okay.
OC and gave him 45.
All right, whatever.
You got a point. No,
honestly, I didn't have Auburn on my top 5. I was borderline in putting them in down bad category, to be honest, because look, and this is why I say this, because over the last 2, like they had the Harsin hire, dumpster fire. They had the Hugh Freeze hire, dumpster fire. You're entering a new hire right now. I would be a little uneasy if I'm an Auburn fan of like, dang, this is the 3rd hire in this decade. Why should I be any hopeful that this one's going to work out because the others didn't?
Yeah, that's why I didn't have them very high on my list. But like Brooks said, like it does seem like Golesh is kind of the right one this time, so there is hope, but it's not as much hope as it could be.
Now, a school that has seemingly tripped, fallen, rolled over, and laid in the poop is Michigan, but they got to feel like they came out smelling like roses, like randomly.
For sure.
You and me have
100%.
You and me are spot on together
Like,
so far.
Kyle Whittingham is such a good football coach. And he's such a good, I think, a program stabilizer. Maybe not like I don't know if you could argue that he built Utah. It was a slow build, if anything, it felt like. I'm going to have to go look at the game logs and the stat reference, but it felt like it was just 9-3 for 20 years. I felt like, or however long he was there at Utah, it felt like that.
Yeah, I mean, pretty sure he was pretty close to the Urban Meyer era as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He'd been there a while.
Yeah.
And
I
I
would
would
say Urban Meyer built it probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's more of a program, like a program stabilizer.
Yeah.
Like the program is going to be stable under this guy for a long time, or however long he wants to be there. Because it was a I'm retiring from Utah. Psych. No, I'm not. I'm the Michigan head football coach.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're a Michigan fan and it was, you're telling me I can win a national title, have 2 decent enough years of Sherrod Moore, then he's fired without any real, contract consequences or us having to be bad for a handful of years, and all of a sudden our next coach is Kyle Whittingham. Yeah, like I'm pretty excited about that. I'm optimistic. Now, obviously, there's a lot that needs to go right in Michigan. There's a lot of things that need to be worked on, but you're definitely optimistic if you're in Ann Arbor right now.
So he was the head coach after Urban.
Okay.
So this is a program stabilizer. He had 3 5 and 7 seasons, and started coaching that team in 2005.
Damn.
So we spent 20 years as the head football coach, and like I said, we're consistently a 9-win football coach.
Yeah, they were undefeated in 2010, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, 10-3. His best season was 11-3 in 2019.
They did. I swear they went undefeated one year.
They went undefeated the year before he was the coach in 2004. That was the year they beat somebody in the Fiesta Bowl. Was that Bama?
Yes.
They got Bama in the Fiesta Bowl.
Are you sure that's 2004?
So I'm not sure, but Stats Reference is. Now, I am looking at a 13-0 2008. They won the Sugar Bowl with Kyle Whittingham in 2008. So there you go.
Hell yeah.
You did have an undefeated more recently. So, program stabilizer. Number 3, if you're not hopeful down at Florida, you're just never going to be. I don't think.
I think
It's a cautiously optimistic fan base. I've learned that about them. They don't want good news.
So the reason why I might push back on this one is because now I have select few of them, but I do know some Florida fans. I feel like that there was some letdown of, we got Lane Kiffin in the bag, and then it's John Summerall. All right, here we go.
Yeah,
John Summerall it is.
I didn't have Florida on my list because they're at the point where you got to give me a reason to be hopeful.
That's
like
fair.
Auburn's going on 5 or 6 years of, we've really been kicked in the nuts a bunch by our head coaching hires. Florida's going on about 15 years of it, outside of the handful of years that were optimistic or with Dan Mullen. Other than that, it's been very bad.
Who is the second best coaching candidate available this offseason? Because we all agree Lane was one.
Yes.
The moment Lane became available, notably available, everybody's like, all right, Lane's primary objective. I felt like Summerall was clear-cut, too.
James Franklin was pretty dang good.
James Franklin was up
If James
there.
Franklin was viewed like we view James Franklin would have the Florida job.
Probably.
I think.
I mean,
why is he at Vatech if he's what we think he is?
That's fair.
I mean, I don't know, but
So all I'm trying to get at is I feel like they got the second best head coaching candidate. I definitely feel like they made the best offensive coordinator hire.
Yes.
And the Brad White addition is the most slept on coordinating addition of the
Yeah,
offseason.
look, there's reasons to be hopeful, but there's also 15 years worth of reasons to not be hopeful. And I've read this
Correct.
before.
And look, this is me. This is my list.
Yeah.
I don't even think Florida fans would put themselves in the top 5 because I told you they don't what?
the chat sitting on what I was sitting on is there's Florida fans that feel like this is just Napier again. They feel like that's what this experience is going to be.
Yeah. So, and look, that's why I let off with them. I do not believe this fan base has optimism. I don't think they know what that is or can feel that.
I think, the case for they should be optimistic is there for sure.
Yeah.
I
Correct.
agree with you there.
Now, number 2 hopeful program, LSU, just hired a massive football coach, paid him a lot of money, 57 new bodies and transfers coming in, a lot of change, a lot of positive change. You think it's going to be great. Maintain Blake Baker, got Sam Leavitt, all that good stuff. But you're not as hopeful as the Texas Longhorn fan base.
No.
You can't
Texas
be. There's
is
no
my
way.
number 1 as well.
Texas has to be number 1 for most hopeful fan base in 2026.
Yeah, I mean, like if 2026 isn't the year in Austin, there's going to be a lot of
So you agree. They are this year's Penn State
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say
in terms of preseason hype.
I would say they're even more of a Penn State than last year. Like
Yeah.
last year was kind of like, hey, if James Franklin's
If not
good-
now, when?
Yeah, like
This is a valid point because while the entire world or majority of the world, I feel like, was hyping up Penn State last year, I had my own feelings of, I don't know if you guys have watched Drew Aller play football recently, but not sure I'd be hitching my wagon on that team winning the national title this year. And maybe it wasn't Drew Aller's fault entirely this past season, but Penn State ended up in a worse situation than we expected. I have a whole lot more faith in Arch Manning than I did Drew Aller.
And also, the feeling for James Franklin last year was kind of like, if you're not going to do it, you probably never will. This year for Sark, it's like, you better do it this year.
It's a demand.
Like, it's almost it's an expectation. And I feel like that would lead to, a lot of hope and a lot of expectation. I had Miami on my list. I
did
feel
too.
like you go to the national title after, 20 years of absence. Yeah, Carson Beck's not there, but we just got Darian Mensah. We've got
An improvement.
we've got a lot of recruiting momentum right now. I would be very, very hopeful if I'm a Miami fan. My number 2 team is Ole Miss. I think that they have a reason to be happy, but there's probably a lot of people that look at that team last year and say, we could have won a national title if only Lane Kiffin had stayed, if only so-and-so had gone our way. So the fact that you don't have Lane Kiffin heading into 2026, they're happy with Pete Golding. They're happy with Trinidad Chambliss coming back, Keewan Lacey. Obviously, there's a lot of hope. I don't think that they're happy yet, but there's tons of hope.
I think I put them in the happiest fan base category because they are a very boisterous fan base, and this is the loudest their voice has ever been. I have never ran into more Ole Miss internet people than the last 7 months, and I think they enjoy being this thing on
definitely.
the internet. They enjoy rubbing people,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean, like just getting under people's skin.
Yeah, I mean, they it's the most success they've had, so it makes sense.
Their head
that-
coach was that. Their former head coach was exactly that.
Yeah,
So
I'm trying to tread lightly.
I know, but I'm just saying that's kind of the personality that their former head coach embodied his time there.
Boy, they are interesting on the socials.
Oh yeah, they're loud and proud, as most college football fans are, but they're a different category.
And you
of loud
can't say this
proud.
word without sounding like a sissy, but they are mean.
Yeah,
They're just mean
yeah.
on social media.
It feels like it's a whole bunch of people that just have nothing to lose, basically.
Yeah. Especially on a burner account.
Just saying, like that's what I've seen.
It's
from
got to
them.
be the fan base with the highest per capita of burner accounts.
Yeah,
It has to be.
Maybe I don't.
You're not really on the
I
socials.
No, I mean I am. Like I
Well.
see it on Twitter, but it's just like I don't pay attention. Like, oh, this is very clearly a burner. Or,
Now, there are 2 teams on my top 5 that neither one of you mentioned, so I'd like your opinion. I'm open for opinions on these, but I feel like they have strong cases to be on this list. The first one, Notre Dame. They should be very hopeful. Now, I know that the loss of Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price may kind of hinder this a little bit, but considering what your schedule looks like this upcoming year, considering the fact that a lot of people are going to be telling you that CJ Carr might be the best quarterback in college football, definitely one of the best quarterbacks in college football, like it seems like stars are aligning again for the Fighting Irish to have a great season this year, maybe one of the best options to win a national title this year. I feel like they're one of the more hopeful fan bases going into this year.
Yeah,
You're going to have
definitely
oh, my bad.
there you go. Just say that's definitely a viable answer. I think that Notre Dame fans are extremely hopeful. I didn't put them on my list just because, honestly, I just felt like there were other teams that had more reasons to be hopeful.
Sure,
but yes,
that's fair.
CJ Carr is absolutely someone that you should be excited about. Marcus Freeman appears to be the guy. So
I think we're going to have Notre Dame beat reporters say things like week 6 that this is the best quarterback in Notre Dame maybe ever.
And
Like they're going to talk about him like that.
but it's might be true.
Honest to God. Like, well, there's a Hall of Famer in there.
Yeah.
You know, didn't Joe Montana play at Notre Dame?
Let me check on that.
They have a few, but not many.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Montana. It's Brady Quinn.
Yeah.
Sean Kaiser.
End of list.
College Brady Quinn was great. After that,
I mean,
but that's what I'm saying. Like they'll
'cause
make the claims,
The schedule
but
is poop.
yeah,
The schedule is poop, and he is talented, and he's going to put up numbers. I promise you, about 6 weeks in, we're going to have people saying this is the greatest quarterback of Notre Dame history.
for sure.
I believe it.
Then the other team I had that you guys didn't mention was USC. I think USC fans should have a lot of hope right now.
Talk to me next year.
I have USC on the other list.
Really
Yeah.
interesting. I feel
Man,
like they're.
I've got an SEC laden uneasy
Well,
list.
look, and the like majority of the reason why I feel like they should be very hopeful is you just spent a whole lot of money on the 2026 recruiting class, something that Lincoln Riley had been laughed at a lot for over his time at USC. Is you can get the commitments, but you won't land them. He did. He landed a lot of blue chip prospects, some really good football players, and that could be the type of thing that completely reignites a program. Like if you're able to hold on to those players and keep them on your roster, like those are the types of things that creates USC turning back into a monster potentially. So I feel like there should be a lot of hope there of. We might get the right crop of players there.
Good?
Yeah.
Let's go to uneasy. You want it 5-1 or 1-5, Jonathan?
1-5.
All right, I'll give it to you 5-1. Number 5, the Tennessee Volunteer fan base.
Oh, they're on here.
They're a little bit uneasy.
They're on here.
No, I don't think they should be. I think they should be realistic about next year's roster, but we know realism. And
Are we the most
fanatics
pro
don't have
Josh Heupel show out
it.
there?
Have to be.
Gotta be.
Have to be.
We talk more pleasantly
Gotta
about
be.
that guy than anybody.
I think that's where the uneasiness comes from, though, is because
Nobody else loving the head coach up? Is that what's going on?
No, it's not that. I think it's 4 years ago. You were for sure. You would have made the argument as a Tennessee fan that Josh Heupel is one of the best coaches in college football. You would have made the argument that Tennessee would have a national title in 3 years. You're 4 years removed from that 2022 season, and Tennessee has progressively gotten worse every year, and it might be even worse this year. I think that is what leads to my uneasiness if I'm a Tennessee fan.
It's an interesting outlook on what to feel about 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I based off doing the offseason additions episode we did on them, that surprisingly, this is going to sound crazy talking about volunteer fans, but they seem realistic about what 2026 is going to be for them, either with or without what's going on with Joey. But it doesn't sound like it's positive for Joey in the court systems right now.
The thing that I would be, I am terrified of as an outsider, not a Tennessee fan, heading into this next year And the reason why I'm going to say this is because I felt like this happened this past year where going into this past season, Tennessee, we had expectations of, hey, this might be a 9-3 year. This might be an 8-4 year. That's okay, though, because you're kind of going through a rebuilding year. Like you got your starting quarterback ripped from out underneath of you, or he did that himself. Like you had a lot of things going on. Like there might be some reason to be cautionary about this, and that happens. And a lot of the fan base upward about it. We're not very happy with how the season ended, and I think a lot of that had to do with how the season started. So this year, you can tell me now that you're going to be okay if Tennessee posts another 8-4 season this year because George McIntyre is in his first year as a starting quarterback, or Faison Brandon is in his first year as a starting quarterback as a true freshman, or because the defense is still kind of getting their feet wet this year under Jim Knowles. But are you actually going to be okay with that? Are you actually going to have the wherewithal to say next year is when we're expecting all this to boom anyways? Like, we're good right now. We're just building the foundation.
Honestly, looking at my list now, I think I should have put Missouri 5 and Tennessee 4. I feel like Tennessee's a little bit more uneasy than Missouri right about now.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I feel like Missouri's fresh off of, 2 back-to-back 10 wins there. They won 9 games this year, 10 wins a year ago, 11 the year before that. I think they're all right with what's going on with Eli. But this year ain't going to look pretty.
It does. Like, if you're a Missouri fan, though, you are uneasy because it does kind of feel like you missed a window.
Yeah.
You missed a pretty big window of at least making a college football playoff.
Another team possibly a little too low on this, Clemson.
I have Clemson at my number 3 spot.
Dude,
How do you put them on the list?
I tweeted it out today.
Actually, Clemson's my number 1.
Somebody bring me optimism around 2026 up there in Clemson.
No.
So I can't find it. I can't look for it. Can't find it.
And
Clemson fans to me aren't in the unwell category. They're in is insane asylum. Like, they're locked up already. They're in that bad boy for the next 6 months, and they're just gonna go crazy and rip their hair out and scratch their skin until it all settles down and they get it right again.
yeah,
Like,
they're my number
Tyler from Spartanburg with the biggest dub of all time.
Yeah,
They're my number 1 team for the reason of a year ago, people would race to defend Dabo Swinney. Would bang their fist on the table and be like, you don't know what you're talking about. This is all going to be fine. Dabo Swinney's a great coach. They've had down years. They're still winning the ACC. They're still competing high. We're heading into 2026, and there's a possibility that he's fired by the end of the year.
You know that video of Arch Manning aura farming over the UTEP defender?
Yes.
That's going to be Dabo Swinney at the NFL draft when like 5 Clemson defenders get drafted in the first round and they were poop all year last year.
What did you do with them, Dabo? Absolutely nothing.
500.
Yep.
Tough.
We'll take it.
I had
bowl game loss to Penn State and the Grunky Funky.
But you know what? Our character metrics for them were right on. They were dead on.
Highest in Clemson history.
Save me with that bullshit. Like,
And what do you know?
Wait, whoa. You're not big into character metrics?
I'm fine with character metrics. Don't advertise it as like, oh, we got us a squad, and then have that. Because if that's the case, your metrics suck. Like,
they need to be altered.
Like,
they need to be
that's
tweaked a tad bit.
Unfortunately. But no, I had USC on my number 5 team and I understand that you have them as one of the more hopeful teams, Jay Will. I think that USC fans are growing impatient with Lincoln Riley because, yes, there is massive momentum that's being built on the recruiting trail, but it doesn't feel like there's ever been momentum on the field. For as great as they were with Caleb Williams and how they went to the Pac-10 or Pac-12 championship in their time, things just haven't gotten any better. And they've had talented players. And, yeah, Jaden Mayava's coming back, and that's great. I feel like the time is kind of running out for Lincoln Riley to the point of, like, if this isn't a year where we at least show life, there's going to be a world where he might not be our head coach. There's also a world where they could be a college football playoff team. They could make a deep run the Big Ten. They could make a deep run the college football playoff. They have the talent to do so. But
I went with the lesser than USC on this list. I went with South Carolina.
South Carolina's also on my list.
Shane Beamer is king of off-season hype. Like, he is Mr. Roll the machine in the right way, get the PR hype machine going up during the offseason, and then we kind of during the year. But they have to be uneasy, I would imagine.
See, like, I didn't put South Carolina on any of my lists because there was a part of me that was like, maybe they belong on the most hopeful right now. There seems to be a whole lot of hope right now. You guys don't run into South Carolina Twitter as much as I do then because
they're excited about
talented roster.
Dude, I mean, it's the same song, different verse. Like, it's exactly what it is for South Carolina fans right now. It's the same stuff that I saw last year, only this time it's Nick Harper is back. Lenore Sellers is back. Like, all of these things, like, they chose to come back now. They're only going to get better. This roster's, we got a new offensive line. We're putting effort in there. Like, I borderline put them in most hopeful. Because that's how they act to me.
Well, I'd be uneasy if I were out there.
That's valid, too. I almost put them on this list, too.
I would be uneasy.
Yeah,
I'd be nervous as hell.
I have them on the uneasy because it feels very much like Shane Beamer's back is against the wall here.
Yeah.
And if you don't, at the very least, you don't have a competitive run this season, all those guys that are coming back for you are not going to be there in 2027. So, like, what is the outlook long term for a South Carolina fan that makes you feel good? That's why I feel uneasy. 2026 could be a massive improvement. They could have another 9-3 season. They could beat Clemson. They could be this close to making the college football playoff. Hell, they could make the college football playoff. But after that, We're going to lose our best edge defender. We're going to in program history outside of Jadeveon Clowney. We're going to lose our best quarterback, bar none, for sure. We're going to lose a really good wide receiver, Nick Harbor. Like, there's going to lose so many people. That's the outlook would make me uneasy.
And by the way, the Nick Harbor stuff is still projection.
Yeah.
It's still projecting
Very much
that
so
he's
projection.
going to be this monster wide receiver. Like,
Well,
yeah.
you know,
He can
last year, he focused on football, Jonathan.
It's great, and so maybe another offseason of that, and that's the magic number. That's what gets us in the right spot. But again, there are 3 teams that haven't been mentioned that were on my list.
No, I think there's a consensus number 1.
Hear it.
Alabama.
Okay,
Alabama's on my
okay,
list,
yeah.
yes.
Alabama
Yeah,
fans
definitely.
are definitely uneasy right now.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
100%.
Do we have the right guy? Are we
Which-
going to be any good? What's going on?
Which, if Alabama loses to Indiana in the Rose Bowl, 35-24, they get beat. Indiana wins that game. There's never a doubt, but they don't get flat out embarrassed. Are we having the same conversations about Kalen DeBoer?
I mean, it was ugly.
Because I remember that in between period of after the SEC championship when it was, hey, is Penn State going to hire this guy? And Alabama fans were like,
And then Michigan was weirdly
yeah,
connected to
Michigan
him.
was kind of thrown into that, and it was revealed he
Maybe
was
the wife doesn't like Tuscaloosa. There's those rumors.
Yeah. But my point of that is, like, when all that came through and it was like Kalen DeBoer's like, no, I'm staying, there was a lot of excitement from Alabama fans. It was, oh, we've got the guy. He wants to be here.
I think part of that might have been due to the fact of that was happening late in the process, and it was, holy crap, if we lose Kalen DeBoer right
left.
now, who are
do we
we going to
hire?
hire? Who are we going to go get?
Yeah, but I mean, I do wonder if you don't lose that Indiana game in embarrassing fashion, how different people feel about it. But no, Alabama fans are certainly
Slightly
uneasy.
different.
Alabama fans are certainly uneasy now.
They're
Yeah, we
slightly
did not
different.
serve them a very tasteful dish on their last opportunity. You know, they got to
Right.
sit with that in their mouth all offseason. So it's a good point, but I do think that fan base is very uneasy.
The other 2 teams that I had on mine, Nebraska fans. Now, maybe you're in the same category as Clemson fans right now, but I'd be uneasy if I was a Cornhusker fan. I wouldn't be feeling too great about the future of this program at the very moment.
I think they feel like they might have got okey-doked.
It's tanking.
Nothing worse as a fan than a false sense of hope.
Is tanking a thing in college football? Because I think that's what Nebraska's doing right now. Like, maybe Florida State's the premier example of this, where it's like, yep, we're just gonna suck.
We're
Like,
just punting on 26.
why? I don't know. To save some money so we can maybe one day afford this buyout and get the guy we want, other than Mike Norvell. I don't know, but
Why spend $30 million on a competitive roster when we're trying to fire our coach?
Nebraska got Matt Rule back. Great. Watch Dylan Raiola walk out the door. It was like
To sit, by the way.
yeah, to
sit.
sit on the bench, and they were like, "We're just not gonna spend money. The transfer portal players don't need them. These guys we got on the roster, they're with us.
Yeah, I think-
this is what we're rocking up here.
I think Nebraska, I would say that they're not even on the uneasy category anymore because they're just certain it's going to be bad.
They're just brown paper bags.
they're
Check
like-
with the mouthpiece.
they're in Florida State territory where it's like, I don't even have doubts. I know it's going to be ass this year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And then the other team, and I'm probably going to get some weird looks when I say this team, but Georgia Tech. I'd be uneasy if I was a Georgia Tech fan.
I don't hate
right
this
now.
take, actually.
I would be uneasy because as great as the last 2 seasons have been, as much as it has looked like Brent Key is the guy, he's been a great head coach for Georgia Tech up to this point. Losing your offensive coordinator, that's a gut check. And that's also a moment where it's like, a lot of the success we've had recently really hinged on the offense being very productive. You lose Haynes King, that's a major piece. On top of that, you lose Aaron Philo, who you all expected to be your starting quarterback. So he's now with your offensive coordinator, with the Florida Gators. And then you also lost some other pieces on this roster. But, hey, you got Justice Haynes. That's great. Other than that, I don't know like how I would feel about where I expect this program to move now moving forward, because things were so great at one point in time, and now it feels like you took a huge step back this offseason. You got to work your way back up there.
That's a fair take, honestly. I like this. I don't know if they're top 5 uneasiest, but I'm definitely worried if I'm a Georgia Tech fan.
I think they finally started to care, too. That's what's
Yes.
scary.
Oh, you start out 8-0. It's like, hey, We're back.
That Pitt home game, man. That's a crusher.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the first prime time night game that they had sold out basically by themselves.
Yep.
Now, they played Georgia in some night games in the last 15 years at that place, and it's been sold out. Mm-hmm. But not like they were supposed to do for that Pitt game. They sold that bitch out on a Tuesday, and they opened up 28-0. That's ugly.
It's
That's
tough.
ugly. That was a tough loss. I remember watching that or talking about that on Sunday when we came back in. I was like, damn, man, that program does not have a lot of let's get up for this one, and then we get up, and it's like,
You know what else would be a tough loss?
what?
Not paying attention to our friends over at
come
Sleeper.
on.
For those of you who don't know by now, Sleeper is a fantasy sports and real money gaming app that is focused on bringing you, the people, together through sports and gaming. It has become the fastest organically growing platform in the world and has some of the highest active user engagement in the industry. At Sleeper, it's not just about sports. It's about building personal connections and lasting memories. And they have recently added a new feature, the team picks for selections, where you can pick teams to win games instead of just player props. It's a lot of fun. Go head over there today. If you use promo code Brooks, you will get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. One more time, that promo code is Brooks. Thank you to our friends over at Sleeper.
Shout out to the friends over at Sleeper. Shout out to the friends down there on the plains,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful campus.
It really is.
I mean, my favorite.
It's a great place to go and see a game, anything. Like, just go walk around.
You can say anything
It's a
you
great
want about
college town.
any school. Auburn has one of the best campuses.
Now, the $42,000 out-of-state tuition might contribute to that just a tad bit.
Understandable.
My God, what a beautiful campus.
Oh, yes.
What an absolutely gorgeous place to be and to be a coaching football like Alex Golesh is. Let's talk about it. Where do you want to start with the overall? We should probably start with the head football coach. Alex Golesh comes in and, most importantly, retains. I know it's an addition segment, but I thought the retention of DJ Durkin was probably the most important thing that they did this offseason, because they still have a really, really promising defense despite some of the losses, right? Jared Smith, the former five-star, comes back at the edge rusher position. Xavier Atkins at the linebacker position was a freshman All-American. I don't know if he got voted that. He would have been voted that on my list. I thought he was tremendous last year. DeMarcus Riddick, a young linebacker, going into his third year. It's going to be a big year for him. He was a highly touted recruit coming out of high school. Melendez, the freshman linebacker, wore number 9 for those guys last year. If you're not a names guy, if you're a numbers guy like me, he was a freshman, played really, really good football. He comes back in this same system, as does Bryce Dees. And you guys know I'm an Eric Winters guy, all right? The kid out of Alabama that played as a freshman, wears 25 for them at safety. He's really, really good as well. So the defense has stayed together for the most part. Now, you lose a guy like Amaris Williams. We lose some guys to the NFL. That's kind of par for the course in the SEC nowadays, okay? But one thing I've always noticed about Auburn, and I don't know if you guys feel this way about them, but I've covered the SEC religiously since 2019, and I don't think Auburn's ever had a bad defensive line. Like, just absolute slop. They've always been they've always had 2 or 3. Like, shit, man, whoa, that guy's really, really good.
Like NFL guys.
Yeah, like NFL dudes. And I think it will remain that way. And the reason being, I think the state of Alabama produces defensive linemen at a higher rate than anybody else. That's what I have noticed about this industry. When you cover recruiting like I got my roots doing, you notice very quickly Alabama's got great defensive linemen, and they constantly do. I don't know what it is about high school football out there, but they produce really, really well. Now, here's the deal. Auburn folks, if you've watched me before, if you watched this show before, you may or may not like what I say, but I'm going to tell you what I feel, and I'm not going to lie to you like I'm about to do right now. If I sat here and told you I knew hardly anything about the 39 transfers that y'all have added, I'd be lying to your face. Okay, I would, because it's a lot of people, and I'm going to be honest with you, there's not a lot of, outside of Byron Browns, there's not a lot of names, not a lot of big-time names. What you've got is a lot of production. You've got a lot of football players that are coming to you from places where they've taken a lot of snaps. I'll talk about Byram just for a second. I think this guy's legit. I think this guy's a terrifying proposition for defensive coordinators because of his physical abilities. He is the biggest 6'3.5" you will ever see in your life. He feels 6'6". He feels that large, and he plays that large with that much horsepower is the word that I would use to describe Byram. 6'3", 230, 235 pounds, and he's a tremendous athlete, okay? This isn't like, oh, man, he runs fast. No, we got metrics. We have 23 miles an hour in game on this kid. So he is a very, very unique athlete and a very big problem for defensive coordinators. We talk a lot about high school additions on this channel quite a bit. Auburn doesn't have a tremendous high school class to talk about because they fired Hugh Freeze right before National Signing Day, and that makes sense as to why they didn't retain a ton of kids. But when you look at it, guys, they signed 21 high school football players on a brand new staff, and these guys didn't really go anywhere. And they added some guys late, like Brady Marchese, the former, Casey, the former Georgia commit, the former Michigan signee, and now an Auburn Tiger. And I think he kind of sums up what they have, apart from Shadarius Tootle. Shadarius Tootle's a blue chipper. That's a guy that has a potential to have an NFL profile very, very quickly at 6'3", 240 pounds playing linebacker. He's a great prospect. The rest of the class is really good football players that are missing an attribute, right? The Brady Marchese kid's only about 5'11". I feel the same way about a kid like Deshaun Spencer. I don't know if you guys remember, but we went to the Under Armour event in Atlanta last year. And this Deshaun Spencer kid's tearing everybody up left and right. I'm like, who is this kid? Turns out he's the kid from Saraland. Do you remember watching him? And I told you, hey, this is Ryan Williams' replacement.
Oh, yeah.
And we watched that tape, and it was electric. Guess where he's at? He's at Auburn now, okay? And I think he's going to play pretty early on because he fits this system. This is a flat-out burner, is Deshaun Spencer. Went for 2,500 yards the last 2 years of high school football down there in Mobile.
Jeez.
Well, Saraland's close to Mobile. It basically feels like it's swampland out there in the pit, armpit of that bottom end of Alabama down there.
Yeah.
Not to say it's a pit.
I think in addition, like Jaquez Wilkes could also
located.
play off in their defensive unit. I think that it's not a glamorous, super sexy, oh my God, this is going to immediately turn the program around class, but I think that if you wanted that type of thing, you're just putting yourself at more risk. This seems like a fantastic foundation building. And yeah, there's 39 transfers on here, or however many, but a good portion of them are guys that have played under Alex Golesh, have experience under Alex Golesh, and have a rapport with him so that it's not going to be as much of a learning curve. It'll be more of a plug-and-play system.
Yeah, 12 of the 39 additions from South Florida, most of those offensive football players, which is good. We didn't need to bring any of your guys on the defensive side of the football, baby. We got them, right? It's like that scene in Remember the Titans. It's like, you keep your guys over there. We're good over here. Defensively, they're good. We don't need none of that. Y'all do whatever you need to kind of make sure the offense is whole over there on your side. We're good over here. I want to go back to that thing we said about him earlier. I think Alex Golesh is a lunatic. I think he's a psycho. I think he's a sicko. I think he's a football lunatic, and they just fired a football coach that spent every Sunday on the golf course. We'll see you on the other side of the break. Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog? What's up? You like that? You really like that? Let's shut up and grind some tape. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We got a whole nother hour loaded up for you guys right here on the Film Guy Network. It is our best hour. It's our local hour, gentlemen.
Yes.
Y'all ready to talk some dog?
Always. Talk some dog while the Hoop Dogs play some ball.
Yeah, we get labeled that anti-basketball show sometimes.
Yeah.
Hey, look, man, we got set schedules. You know, I know y'all do too, but we'll dodge smoke, not even from the Hoop Dogs. It's a big one, though, Kentucky.
Yeah.
It's a must-win situation.
Every game remaining is a big one.
Everywhere out. We just got to win them all.
Yeah, this season kind of took a downturn.
Yes, it did. But anyways.
That's a 17-8 Kentucky basketball team, though.
They're beatable.
It's not like
They're beatable.
How about me knowing the round ball? How about that?
So proud of you.
Right?
Good job,
So
man.
proud of you.
I spit a record at you. About the extent of my knowledge on that one. All right, we got a great one for you guys. More staff news to address tonight on the show. Combine invites accepted. Were there 8 guys going up there? 9?
10.
10. Got 10 guys going up there. We're going to unveil one of our favorite segments of the year. We're going to guess some 40s tonight. I didn't even tell you guys that.
Oh, you did? I
slapped some
I'll just
numeros
do it
on
off the brain.
I slapped some. That was my segment. That ain't yours. That's my segment.
Okay, never mind.
That's
I won't
for
be
me
doing
to put
that.
my
I'm not allowed to participate.
reputation on the line. Not you.
My 1/3 of contribution around here will not be had during that
We
segment.
know who this show's about, and it's about.
I can't do it, man.
It's about
All right, there you go.
that guy right there. Let's talk news. Oh, J-Will's got a comp tonight. I'm excited for this. I was thinking about a player comp for you. I'll think about that while you do your segment of a seasonal comp.
Okay.
I'm thinking right now. You got some Pierce Spurlin to your game. Long, slender, maybe a vertical threat. We'll talk about it.
All right.
Staff news. Let's talk about it. Georgia adds David Whitlow Jr. You want to know what the most important fact about David Whitlow Jr. is?
What?
He's been following me on Twitter for years.
That is important, I suppose.
Wow.
He's a ball knower.
That must be why Georgia hired him.
He's a ball knower.
Contributing to your top 20 ranking.
You heard it here first, subscribers. If you subscribe to the Film Guy Network and follow Brooks Austin on Twitter, you too might get a job at the University of Georgia.
Hey, stars align.
Just saying.
The facts are facted.
Won't know till you try it.
That's right. You should follow Brooks Austin on Twitter. You might get hired by Kirby Smart.
And subscribe. Do that first.
But do you want to know what his actual history
Yeah,
is?
let's hear the resume.
Here's really why I think he's hired at Georgia. He's a great young football coach.
Oh, yeah.
But he spent his first 2 years as a graduate assistant at Auburn. Anybody know who he might have coached with?
What years was he
This would have
there?
been 2020 to 2022.
So it wouldn't have been. Oh, it was.
Yeah, it's
Mike
a nice
Bobo was there.
crossover with Mike Bobo
Yeah.
on that GA staff right there. After spending 2 years on that graduate assistant staff, we spent a season in 2023 with Ole Miss. Not bad.
Nope.
Got a little seasoning down there with Lane Kiffin, and also a football coach that Kirby Smart well approves of. And then in 2024, you know where we're at? We're at West Georgia. We're at West Georgia. And then in 2025, you know where we're at? We're at one of the best rebuilds in all of college football last year, Kennesaw State. We took Kennesaw State to a conference champion first year there as a wide receivers coach. Now, what is very interesting about this is his entire coaching lineage is all at the wide receiver department. Now, we were a hybrid quarterback wide receiver at Alabama State as a player.
And
but
DB.
And a DB. We did it all. But our coaching lineage has been at wide receiver, and the verbiage and reporting on this is that he is going to help out quarterbacks, which I'm not saying it can't be done. It's weird. It's interesting.
Well, I think the more important thing to note out of all of that is maybe his specific title did not say quarterback at any of those spots, but you mentioned Mike Bobo. That guy's been coaching quarterbacks and calling offensive plays for a long time. Made a stop over at LSU. We know Lane Kiffin, obviously a quarterback guru at this point for what he's able to do and help out with his quarterbacks. Even at West Georgia, the current quarterbacks coach at LSU was offensive coordinator at West Georgia during that time.
Guy knows ball.
So just saying. I mean, he's worked with some guys that have a lot of experience and are known for those types of things.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, definitely on paper it's unique, but at the same time, I don't think that there's ever been a time where you look at a decision that Kirby Smart and his staff have made and gone, what the hell were they thinking with this one? This makes absolutely no sense. So, I mean, there's certainly a logical reason as to why he's being brought in to help at this specific position. So,
Chat wanted us to talk about Larry Knight. We'll talk about all of the additions in a recap here in just a little bit, but we spoke ad nauseum, not ad nauseum. We spoke ad nauseum about Larry Knight last night, the Arkansas State, now West Virginia, now Georgia outside linebackers coach and pass rush specialist. We'll get back to him in just a little bit. It's another young, energetic dude in the room, and I don't mean to hyperventilate or over-focus on the hyper-focus on the fact that he's been a wide receivers coach. If I can teach you how to block, I can teach you how to beat blocks. If I can teach you how to get open, I can teach you why they're open and when they're going to be open. You see what I'm saying? If I can teach you how to be a good wide receiver, I would imagine I can teach quarterbacks why wide receivers are good.
Right.
And that matters, building that rapport and building that language. I did have someone reach out to me and was like, hey, we figured out who Gunnar Stocks' quarterback coach is. No, we have not. That's not what I'm talking about. I know Mike Bobo is his quarterbacks coach. I know my man Whitlow is going to help out with quarterbacks. I'm talking about who is responsible for his off-season mechanical development. That's what I want to know, and I will continue to ask that.
The bag work.
Yeah, the bag. Honest to God, the bag work. Like, who is developing art? Because like people's like, yeah, he's got a quarterbacks coach. Yeah, the quarterbacks coach can't work with him in February. You know, he's got to go out there and do that on his own. So it's an interesting thing. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, I'd be pissed if I was Rich Rod.
Oh yeah,
I'd take a page right out of Beamer's book, though. I got to see it. I
We
got to
don't
see
want
that. Press
We didn't want
conference.
that bum anyways.
Yeah.
We got who we wanted.
You know what? If you don't want to be in my building, get the hell out.
we're about to tell him to leave anyways.
Yeah, we were right around the corner of finding the candidate we actually wanted.
West Virginia is nobody's secondary selection. Nobody's. Okay. More commonly known as the Gummy Van Gorder spot.
Yeah.
Is what just got filled, which went a year without it, basically.
Yeah, he got taken off the staff last offseason, and then don't believe it was ever filled based on what I found on Google when I looked up who was the most recent assistant quarterbacks coach at Georgia. It was Gummy Van Gorder. That happened like right after Pro Day for Georgia. It was very recent.
Them damn Eagles.
Yep, the Eagles once again poaching a dog, and then now they have filled that position again. So maybe that was the problem all along. Just didn't have an assistant quarterbacks coach.
Well, it's better than not having one at all.
Yeah,
Shout out
sure.
to the Michigan Wolverines.
Good Lord.
One of the craziest stories of all
We
time.
don't need that.
It's like, hey, you don't need a quarterbacks coach.
Bryce Underwood, he's really good. He knows what he's doing.
I mean, we pay you $3 million and you can coach yourself.
What am I going to do? Tell him to throw the ball?
If you'd have watched his Pocket Mechanics last year, you'd have been like, oh, it makes sense now. We had nobody telling us what we were doing wrong. All right, there's been a lot of changes on the coaching staff this offseason. Additions, subtractions, promotions. I think it's a good time to recap these things for the audience.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You want to start with the guys who left,
Yes.
the guys who got promoted, or the guys who got hired?
Guys who left.
All right, let's start with the guys who got left, or guys who left. Chidera Uzo-Deribe, now the outside linebackers coach for the Dallas Cowboys. He is out.
Probably
After spending 4 years here.
Probably the biggest departure you had this season.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, the only on-field position coach that left. The rest of
Yeah.
these guys are support staff. Now, nowadays, when we say they're on-field or support staff, everybody's on-field during practice. So they're all position coaches in a sense, but some of them obviously matter more than others, like Uzo. Will Muschamp, off of the analyst staff, now the defensive coordinator at Texas. I'll say this, though. I think the loss of Muschamp was felt after the 2024 season. You experienced what it felt like to be Muschampless in 2025. Per my understanding and sourcing, Boom wasn't super heavily involved this year defensively.
Yeah, it was kind of a show up, write some things down, be like, hey,
Crack some wise.
yeah, here's a good idea, and then collect his $300K and get on his way.
Yeah, here's my notes from the film that I watched. Here's what I thought. Here's the coaching additives. Here you go. I'm headed to Nashville.
Gotta go watch my boy.
Ride some pine.
Come on. That was me. That was very Ole Miss fan of you.
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. Ty or Chris Hatcher?
Oh, Ty Hatcher.
Chris is the dad?
Yes.
Okay. Ty Hatcher, a quarterback / offensive analyst a year ago. I was under the impression he was in the Gummy Van Gorder role. You told me today his title was offensive analyst.
It was offensive quality control.
Okay, so he was a QC guy. He's now at LSU, so he's gone.
Up and comer.
Up and comer, big time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Garrett Cox is now the linebackers coach at Texas. Is that correct?
I think so.
Yeah, he's coaching with the linebacker. I don't know if
He's with Muschamp at Texas.
I don't know if he is the linebackers coach. I know that's like the role he will be in, though. So, I mean, either way, he's not on Georgia's staff anymore.
Yeah, he was Georgia's second linebackers coach last year, and he is no longer on the staff.
So, I mean, that linebackers room took a beating,
Correct.
with the exception of Glenn Schumann.
Senior defensive analyst.
Okay, so he's still
Same thing.
He's still going to be.
We're doing the
contributing.
same thing over with Texas and probably making a little bit more money. So there's that. Those are the losses. Now, you mentioned something to me pre-show that is worth talking about now. The fact that they don't have very many failures.
No, we were kind of working through this, and we might be wrong, but the last coach that was on staff that got truly like, hey, you have been fired was James Coley in 2019. That's 7 years from now. Now, of course, along the way,
You got to face.
Matt Luke.
Matt Luke retired.
And here's what I was about to say. There have been
All right.
There have been guys along the way of, hey, maybe it's best you go here. Maybe it's best that you take that next step in your career. Maybe it's best that you retire. They don't very often come out and be like, this isn't working. You got to go. Like,
yeah, my only 3 were James Coley. You brought up Matt Luke. Does Jamal Adai fit in this category?
Was he here long enough to be considered?
I mean, he's here for like 18 months.
Yeah.
And then went to Miami, and now he's
in
like
the NFL.
Bro, he's a guy in the NFL now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, but it didn't – you don't take lateral moves. You don't leave Georgia to go to Miami at the time. At the time. I know what Miami is now, but you don't do that. You don't leave Kirby Smart to go down to Miami.
Not that quickly.
No. So, I don't know if that was an ultimate success story, but the rest of them have been.
Right.
Gone 7 years without a bad, like,
I guess it's
didn't
one of
work
those
out.
things
Get out of here.
where maybe it's not a success, maybe not a failure. It's just more so a didn't work out type of thing. Like, nothing catastrophic happened when Jamal Adai was with the defensive backs. But now Kirby Smart and a lot of other people that have a lot of experience there had their hands there. But, I would say maybe not a failure. Why you give me that look?
No, I'm just laughing about hey man, I gotta get off the phone with my mom. I gotta get my mom a new apartment. I've told you that story.
Oh yeah. No, chat. Matt Luke was not fired, but what I am pointing out,
He's insinuating that he might have not been.
I'm just saying, like we've talked on this show about what Georgia's offensive line
didn't
was
look great
left when Matt Luke was the guy. It definitely was not the Georgia standard. So yes, he did retire, but I'm saying,
yeah. Kirby came into his office and said, "Hey Matt, congratulations on the retirement, man. Could not be more happy." Matt Luke goes, "I didn't retire." When he goes, "I'll see you later, man. Best
the papers
wishes.
are on my
Shut
desk
the
and
door."
signed. You're welcome.
And no, that's not actually what happened.
No, his son was a high school senior,
Yeah,
I get it.
so he did want to hang around North Oconee.
And
It
I
was
get
a
that, for
legitimate
sure.
retirement.
No, yeah.
He spent 2 years out of the sport. It wasn't like he was 6 months.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't pull a Kyle Whittingham.
I'm not
This wasn't
speaking
the
down on him.
This wasn't the Bobby Hawk guy from North Dakota State or whatever the hell that South Dakota State wasn't. That guy. It was a situation where we spent 2 years out of football. That being said, I don't think anybody was like upset in that building that they had to go rebuild the room because they had to go
Right.
rebuild the room anyways.
right. He could light a fire under anybody's ass, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, man, that dude had.
He brought
juice.
the juice.
That dude brought the juice. Which leads to our promotions. Phil Rauscher promoted from offensive analyst to offensive line coach. Stacey Searles to replace him in the analyst department. Mm-hmm. So,
Good quick exchange there.
that was one of those. Oh, you're a dude.
Yeah.
We have to either promote you or
We have to
watch
make-
you walk out of the building.
You've
have
been
to do
coaching offensive line in the NFL for how long? Okay.
Yeah, we got to make sure we do not lose you.
Yeah, you might be what is known as a commodity.
Yeah.
Out here in the offensive line world, a lot of takes about offensive line lately. Have y'all noticed this?
What do you mean?
David Pollock was like, "It's the worst I've ever seen it from an offensive line play style standpoint. Like we don't move people anymore." It's like, well, the game's changed dramatically.
Yes.
How we even run the football has changed dramatically. So, I would also argue defensive line play's gotten really, really good.
Yeah.
Scheme on defensive line plays got really, really good. Guys used to stand in the gap and then get moved. Nowadays, the guy that was in this gap's 2 gaps over. The guy that was 3 gaps over is now hitting me in my face.
Let me run this take by you. Traditionally, offenses have the advantage because they know what play they're going to run. Defense, it's the opposite. The defensive line. Because the offense knows what play they're going to run, but they don't know what the defense is going to do. They don't know what stunts are going to be run. They don't know who's coming from where. They don't know what formation you're going to be in by the time of the snap. The defensive line is the one unit on the defense that has the advantage over the offense.
From I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Everybody else is reacting to the football, really.
Yeah, like that's my take on that.
Nowadays. I mean, there was I feel like a 10-year span of Nick Saban, Kirby Smart defenses where everybody was 2-gapping. Everybody.
Yeah.
And then, like, I would say 3 or 4 years ago, people started stunting like crazy. And now everybody. I watched a couple of teams this year that nut and ton stunt on every play.
I believe it.
Every play. And that's totally different than what it was several years ago. Maurice Smith Is that a Mo Smith? Are we mowing that?
It's Mo Smith, Maurice Smith, however you want to go.
Maurice is the government name.
Now, you guys have a much better relationship with the Mo Smith, the player, than I do. I was still playing ball.
It's the first Kirby Smart transfer legend.
That's
Legend.
like the
He was that good. I know he had a bunch of picks. Was he that good? I don't know the Mo
He
Smith
won
thing.
the Auburn game in 2016.
Okay,
Yes.
so I need to go back and rewatch 2016 football.
The offense did not score a single touchdown. He
Maybe
was
not.
like that's what his career at Georgia boiled down to was he made that play. He made
was-
the pick six against Auburn in 2016.
Yeah, he was a very reliable cornerback at a time when the defense was very clearly figuring things out, and he has an absolutely legendary moment, kind of like a la Veron Haynes. Like solid player that has a legendary moment will live on forever and ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, was that the Tennessee wearing them god-awful gray jerseys pick?
No,
Is that
the
Mo
pick,
Smith?
the pick was against Auburn.
Oh.
It was Sean White, Auburn. They were ranked like 16th in the country.
No, they were top 10.
Top
It was
10.
Kirby
They had
Smart.
number 9 in the country, I believe.
With non-snowboarder Sean White.
Yeah,
And Georgia was unranked, kind of struggling that year.
there's your upside to the Gus Malzahn era, guys. He had Sean White as a top 10 team in November with the Auburn Tigers.
Hey, he was a big-time recruit, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
The Sean White kid?
He was.
What a time in college football.
Different era, man.
Yeah, so those are the promotions. And the fresh hires, Larry Knight, the outside linebackers coach, pass rush specialist. Look, I'm not going to sit here and act like I watched Arkansas State football all year last year, but it's pretty obvious the production numbers that, we went from, I think they were 100th in sacks or something like that to top 6. That's a pretty drastic turnaround. And the only difference was him.
I can't remember whose list it was. It may have been 247, I want to say, that did this list, but he was one of the candidates on a 30 under 30 list.
As was
for
David
coaches.
Whitlow Jr., by the way. So they got two.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
that's the one you're probably thinking of on that list. But, this is a premier pass rush specialist coach, and that's what was needed. I don't think you need somebody to come in and teach guys how to hold the edge. You got to teach somebody how to get home, and that's what this guy's all about.
Yep.
And I talked about it last night. We'll find out what he wants from a height, weight, speed, physical profile standpoint really, really quickly. They announced it today. I think Kirby actually gave a quote in that announcement today. Let me find that. What are you guys' thoughts on Larry Knight?
This is honestly the hire that I'm most excited about, and it's one that I've probably say over the last 3 years of hires that Georgia's had that I'm the most excited about because it's an area of deficiency and it's one that everybody seems to be excited about. And I do trust Kirby Smart's judgment. I trust his ability to scout his staff and the people that he's worked with. But the fact that this does come from somewhat of an outside source and it's not he worked with Kirby 15 years ago or he was friends with this position coach and this is how they know each other. It's a guy that they actually went out and found. That's exciting to me. Not to say that that's the way that it needs to be done all throughout, but if Georgia's defense and he can bring that next level of pass rush, it's going to be a slam dunk hire.
Kirby, it's very akin to the Uzo hire. Uzo came out of nowhere.
Right.
I mean, he was very fast ascending, but from a sense of like, you hired a guy that's at SMU and TCU in the same 12-month cycle. Like, what? Where? What? Who? Boom. Immediately. Great. 4 years now with Dallas. I mean, people will argue whether or not he's great. He came from TCU, spent 4 years at Georgia, and now he's an NFL position coach. So you can have your own opinions about stat production, but, like, that's a football coach. That's a great football coach. Here's the quote from Kirby today. Quote, "We are excited to add a coach and a man of Coach Knight's caliber to the staff. He has produced on the field at all of his coaching stops and has also proven his worth as one of the best recruiters around. Coach Knight was a conference champion on the field when he played for Central Michigan, and I know he is ready to get to work in his home state." It's Augusta, Georgia native. It's a guy that's from the state. He's also spent time at Georgia Tech, too, so he's recruited the state really well during his time in the state. So, I figured when this job came available, ain't no way they're going to hire some 54-year-old dude that's been around the block. Like, it's going to be a young go-getter that probably ain't going to be here very long.
Right.
That's just kind of the nature of that business at that position. It's a premier position.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
If you do well at it, you're going to climb. You're going to go from outside linebackers coach to NFL outside linebackers coach or outside linebackers coach to defensive coordinator somewhere. I know for a fact Uzo turned down DC jobs. So
Doesn't surprise me at all.
big time DC jobs. Waiting for this one. because he knew this was around the corner at some point. David Whitlow, we talked a lot about at the top of the show. It's a brilliant young football coach that has climbed the ranks really, really quickly as a wide receiver specialist and now going to help out more as a quarterback's type of coach. So.
Yeah.
And then Robert Edwards was a massive addition as well. I bet that guy's going to recruit really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I bet Robert Edwards is going to recruit this state really well.
I would say, I'll be honest, I wasn't familiar with the fact that he had been, coaching at the high school level to that pedigree that he had been.
Not just that, dude. I've seen Robert like training running backs like on the side, like doing the same thing Terrence does, but from a running back standpoint for a long time. This dude's been coaching football for a minute. I'm glad to see him get a run at something like this.
No doubt. Always good to see alumnus back in the G.
I would imagine Terrence would be at this role by now if he wasn't a head football coach at a really well-paying job. He's doing all right for himself.
No doubt.
Right about now, I would imagine. So, yeah, man, they've had a lot of coaching additions and changes this offseason. I think your point about the fact that we've gone 7 years without a demotion is insane.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, James Coley is the last one where it's like, all right, buddy.
Ooh, that didn't work. You got to go.
Yeah, you're not going from Georgia's offensive line coach to retired. You're going from Georgia's offensive coordinator to Texas A&M's wide receiver coach.
And even that one, like hindsight, it was more so like, oh, maybe we made the wrong call there.
Yeah.
Because you were really good at what you were doing. We maybe jumped the gun to call
Matter of
you the
fact, we
offensive
love you so
coordinator.
much, Coach. We'll see you in 3 years.
Yep.
4?
It was a little longer. 2019, and then he came back in 2024.
We'll see in a little bit.
Yeah.
You might have to do a watch-along with Jimbo Fisher in the Texas A&M football facilities, but other than that, it'll be fun.
You got to watch us win a natty 2 years after we tell you to.
But he was on the watch-along.
I remember.
That's what I'm saying.
Him and Jimbo sitting right there talking about Georgia football.
Yeah.
Woo!
I've watched all media that encapsulates the Georgia National Championship, so don't worry. Every reaction, every person talking about it, I know it's been done.
When was the last time you rewatched the 2022 national title?
Full, like start to finish, it's been a while. I'll rewatch the fourth quarter every now and then, or like the last 3 or 4 drives, just like every other month or so.
I recently rewatched the first half.
You ever watched The Loss?
Fuck no. Sorry.
Whoa!
Excuse me.
Whoa! That first timer.
Excuse me.
First time he popped a cherry. Whoa!
No, I've hit the F word before.
Woo!
My bad, guys. That's how strong I feel about watching Lost.
Somebody clip it.
Fuck no.
Oh my god.
No, why would I relive that?
I only ask because I lost the state championship in high school, and I would watch it every December the next 6 years.
No, dude. Why would you do that?
The only losses I have ever rewatched are the times where I come in here for film study.
on film studies, like, why did this happen? What's like?
That's the only time I rewatch a loss.
But that's different. That's like
And you have to do that.
Yeah, it's my job.
And but that's also like studying things, like reliving the broadcast and the environment of that. No thanks. I'm good, man.
I love Van Lathan to death. You're a good friend of mine. You don't know nothing about content. About college football content. I say this because he called me last offseason and he was like, you know what you should do? You should watch all of the most heart-wrenching losses of all time and explain why we lost it.
No.
And I'm like, Van, why would I do this? He's like, dude, I catch myself all the time watching like the 2008 Alabama LSU game.
Oh, he just loves pain.
Yeah.
He's a psycho.
So maybe it's just a him thing because we tried it. Remember we watched the 2012 SC championship game?
Yeah.
0 numbers.
Like, I can say
Absolute
this
poop.
for a fact.
You hated that.
No, I didn't hate that because it was actually kind of fun to rewatch some of the players on the field. But, like, that would be like me rewatching the 2017 national title game. I have not rewatched a single play from that game other than when it is forced in front of my eyes.
I look away.
Yeah. Like, I will never.
Every single time Georgia plays Alabama and they do the recap of the series and they show, I look away. I refuse
If it's
to
ever
watch
in my
it.
search history, have me committed. I'm serious. We'll never rewatch it.
Damn. All right, good to know.
Yep.
Good to know. You want to play a game?
Let's play a game.
Let's play a game, shall we?
All right. So
explain the game, Kirby.
So I've got a couple of scenarios here of just hypotheticals, statistics, or certain things that could happen through the 2026 season. And I'm going to list 2 at a time, and I want you guys to tell me which is more likely to happen.
Seems simple enough.
Yeah. So first one, very simple. What's more likely to happen? Gunnar Stockton has 3,000 passing yards this year, or Nate Frazier has 1,100 rushing yards.
So if my memory serves me, this is a 200-yard uptick for both of them?
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm going to go with Frazier just because there's too many unknowns in the receiving room for me to bank on an uptick in the passing yards department.
If he is anything, a year 2 growth relative to Stetson, he clears.
Mm-hmm.
Stetson went like 2,800 to almost 4,000.
It's true.
So if we have anything at all relative to growth, we clear this.
Here's why I'm going Gunnar, because yes, there are some major questions about the wide receiver room. Nate Frazier was like the lone running back Georgia had for 4 or 5 games this year because Chauncey Bowens was dealing with an injury. Now, I understand that you had Josh McCray and you had Cass Jones and Bo Walker and other guys on that roster, but it was, hey, Nate Frazier's getting 60 to 70% of our carries. If Chauncey and Nate are healthy throughout the year, it's probably going to be much more 50-50, and that's going to make it that much harder for Nate to get that many yards, so that's why I'm going Gunnar.
Kirby's onto a good point here. Historically, Nate probably got as much of a rep share as any Georgia back's gotten in a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know that to be fact based off attempts. So is it reasonable to say he's going to have just as many or fewer carries in 2026 as he did in 2025?
And to my own point, or to counter my own point of picking Nate, I talked about the wide receiver rooms. There's questions on the offensive line too, so it's not safe to just assume that the run blocking is going to be as good as it was last year because Monroe Freeling, Micah Morris, a healthy Drew Bobo, and the 2 freshmen were really good, but who's to say it continues to be that this next year?
He got 173 attempts in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
And give me a second and I'll tell you just where that is in terms of relative towards everybody else in the season. Also, what doesn't necessarily help Nate is the fact that Gunnar had 129 rushing attempts last year.
That's true, too.
You know?
Now, Gunnar might have less attempts this year, and that could play into a factor there. But I do see a world where it's a 1-2 punch. And it felt like sometimes last year it was kind of, hey, Nate's our feature back, and we'll put in other guys when he needs a breather. But it is the Nate Frazier show because Chauncey Bowens is unavailable right now.
100%.
So that's why I said Gunnar a little bit. But
okay.
Guys, you got more totes from Nate last year than I'm all the way back to 2021 Zamir White, 161 carries. Like Nate got more carries last year than any back's gotten at Georgia in maybe 7 or 8 years.
I believe it. I would say DeAndre Swift was probably the last one to get more.
I mean, it was the biggest, other than the year that.
You'd be right. 2019, 196 totes for DeAndre Swift.
Other than the.
And 1,200 yards. That's about what it's going to take, 190 carries.
Other than the 2019 to 2020 change, I would say that this past season was the biggest offensive identity change that Georgia's gone under Kirby Smart.
Yeah, for sure. All right, moving on. What's more likely to happen? Georgia finishes the regular season 12-0, or Georgia finishes the regular season 9-3?
The floor is 10-2, so 12-0.
The 3 losses.
I'm not backing off my floor take. I'm there. I'm there till I'm not.
I'm with you.
That's fair.
It's really hard for me to even envision a 9-3 season.
Yeah, find 3 losses.
I can tell
now,
you.
They might happen. I'm just saying, going into the season, find 3.
The 3 that would come to mind for me at this very moment would be I could see them losing to Alabama. I could see them losing to Oklahoma. I could see them losing to Florida. Like those 3
Ole
right
Miss,
now.
maybe.
Ole Miss. I would put Ole Miss above Florida right now.
I mean,
those 3.
And Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Georgia, for all extensive purposes, could have very easily had a 9-3 season in 2024.
Correct. And last year.
Yeah.
I mean, last year, if my man from Tennessee don't push it right.
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen.
If Josh McCray
9-3.
doesn't perform a miracle on 4th and 2 against Ole Miss.
8-4.
Like stuff. So, it's possible. Now, those have fallen in Georgia's favor because of the way that team plays and it puts himself in a position. But 12-0 is really hard with that schedule.
I'm with you. I just think it's harder for me to go those 5 or 6 tough games and pick them to lose 3 of them.
Yeah,
It's way easier to pick them to go undefeated for me.
That's fair. Next one. What is more likely to happen? KJ Bolden leads the team in interceptions, or CJ Wiley leads the team in receptions?
Oh, KJ Bolden.
Not a hard pick for you?
No, just because historically speaking, that position for Georgia, the X receiver position, that's not typically the spot that's going to lead Georgia in receptions, unless you're a completely unstoppable talent, which maybe C.J. Wiley turns into that.
That's fair.
But K.J. Bolden, we've talked about the opportunities were there for him last year to make interceptions. And if that turns a page this year and he's making those plays, it's just easy for me to envision that happening.
Also, there won't be a defensive player next year that plays more snaps than K.J. Bolden.
It's a great answer, too.
Very true.
That
There
dude
won't
ain't
be.
coming off the field.
No, he will not.
That's probably that one was probably the more obvious decision. What's more likely to happen? Georgia averages 38 points per game on offense next year, or Georgia's defense allows less than 15 points per game on offense or defense next year.
The offensive points per game.
Yeah,
probably.
is anybody holding anybody under 15 anymore?
Okay, let's move it up to 17.
You'd have to push it all the way to 20.
20
think.
seems fairly attainable at Georgia.
It does. I think last year was 18.6.
Ohio State and Indiana both held teams under 15 points per
Yeah,
game.
so all right, I'm sticking with 15's fair.
Ohio State held teams to 9 points per game last year. Indiana held teams to 11.7 points per game. Texas Tech
dang.
held teams to 11.8.
All right.
My Toledo Rockets.
Who in the SEC? Who had the best defense in the SEC last year?
Oklahoma,
At what?
15.5.
So can they be Oklahoma of 2026?
They could be.
They could be.
Could they be?
I think that's more likely than them almost scoring 40.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of 24-14 football games next year.
Just sitting on it.
Squatting them. How y'all like my new offense? Type shit.
Here's a fun one. I should say type shit.
Hey, fuck with me, twin.
All right. What's more likely to happen? Georgia wears black jerseys this season.
Oh, here we go
Or
again.
Georgia loses every road or neutral
Buddy,
site game in 2026.
You could have gone, or we find the cure for cancer, and I would have gone.
Well,
that
Kirby, they're not playing on Black Friday this year, so black jerseys are out of the question, right?
Still one of my
Them's the rules.
Still one of my poorest
one. Them's the rules.
aging takes. You guys want more? Or you want to move on?
It's
No, I
more
like
likely
this.
that Georgia loses every road or neutral site game than wearing black jerseys this year.
Facts.
All right, what's more likely to happen this season? Gunnar Stockton rushes for 500 total yards, or Georgia never allows a single rusher to have more than 100 yards in a game?
Gunnar had like mid 300s.
No, he was like
rushing yards?
460 last year.
Oh, 400s. That's what I meant. Sorry, because you set the bar at 500.
Was Wisner the only back to do for 100 this year?
He got to 100.
Who was it?
Oh, Weiser did not get to 100.
Somebody gave him 100 this year, didn't they?
I could check the game logs.
I don't believe so.
I don't think anybody did.
Kiwan didn't.
Keewan
Like
was like
74.
Keewan was like 74. They don't give up 100 yards rushing
No,
that often.
I can't even remember the last one.
I think it happened in
You think Google?
Jalen
you think
Milroe
AI's
did.
got this?
Jalen Milroe might have
Jalen
done it to
Milroe
him in
did.
2024. Let's see if Google AI's got it.
This is riveting television.
Damn, you typing? What are you typing in a paragraph?
Searching. Cody Schrader of the Missouri
2020
Tigers.
2023 Missouri.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
22 carries for 112 yards. He is the last football player. I'm going nobody rushes for 100.
Yeah, I could see that.
So you don't think Gunnar can find another 40 to 50
It's very
yards?
He
this
possible.
season?
certainly can. I think maybe both of these clear. This might be the first one you've given me where I'm like, I could see both of them happening.
Toss it up.
Yeah.
All right.
The Schrader thing happened on like 2 carries too, I felt like.
He did have some gashers in that game, I
Yeah.
remember. All right.
Oh, the Brady Cook quarterback draw in that game. Filthy.
Damn.
Sorry.
That's a really underrated Georgia game. Back and forth, like
To be honest with you, it's because it's Missouri.
no, I understand that, but like
It's honest to God, if you just only wore the black jerseys and only wore the white jerseys to remove the yellow, I think you'd be more aesthetically pleasing.
but no, like back and forth top 15 matchup. You had a bunch of exciting plays, a big man interception, down to the wire. It was an exciting football game.
Yeah.
People don't really talk about that. What's more likely to happen? Amaris Williams has 6 sacks in 2026, or DeMelo Jones or Ellis Robinson combine for 8 interceptions.
Oh, the 6 sacks.
Sacks.
6 sacks. You got to bring that all the way down to like 5.
Ellis had 4. Ellis had 4
Here's one
last
for
year.
you. Who's the last corner to have multiple interceptions for Georgia in a season?
Ellis Robinson last season.
Okay.
He just said it.
Yeah, you're right.
He had 4 last year.
I thought we had to go all the way back to Eric Stokes.
Malachi probably had multiple.
That's
in
not a
20
corner.
Oh, corner. Dalen.
Yeah, he had 2 against Texas in one game.
You had
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Bad
But
question.
I'm with Amaris with
That's
6
fair.
plus
yeah,
sacks.
Maris, I'm with
That's
you on
fair.
that one.
All right, the last one I have. What's more likely to happen? Georgia gets 3 night games in Athens this year, or is in 5 one-score fourth-quarter matchups?
Sorry, I was doing Jonathan's player comp. One more time on this.
So night game candidates this year would be Oklahoma. That seems like a legitimate night game opportunity. Georgia Tech is at home this year.
Yes.
That could be a sneaky option for a night game.
That's either going to be a noon or a night game.
Yeah, that's going to be Auburn could be a legitimate option for a night game potentially, but that one's more likely going to be an afternoon kickoff if I had to guess. 3 seems like a stretch this year because you go to Alabama on the road, you go to Ole Miss on the road.
You don't think they're putting Jared Curtis under the lights when he rolls in?
Probably not. I would imagine that one's not going to be a night game. They don't hand them out like that at Georgia. So I'll go with the other option.
5 one-score fourth-quarter match, which they had those last year. So makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jonathan.
You want my comp?
It's comp time. Do you want your player comp first?
No.
Okay.
I want you to keep building on
I've got 4 of them.
I feel like you came up with that way too quickly.
Are these only Georgia player comps?
There's only one Georgia player in the mix.
Okay.
I've got a position player comp for you, a high-end, low-end comp, and a quarterback comp for you.
Okay. All right. We'll sit on that one, see if you can think of anything else while I proceed to give my comp for the Georgia Bulldogs in the 2026 season. Now, if you guys remember correctly, if you were with us during last offseason, I gave the take that Georgia in 2025 was going to be very similar to how Notre Dame was in 2024. And honestly, I wasn't too far off. Other than minus making a national title appearance last year, Georgia was pretty much exactly what Notre Dame was that past season, where they executed at a high rate. The offense was led by a quarterback that was willing to die for his team, and they were just a well-coached team. I felt like that's what Notre Dame was in 2024. I think you could say the same exact thing for Georgia this past season. But this time, I'm going to dip into the pot of Georgia's history to talk about Georgia's comp for the 2026 season. So dial it back a little bit with me, and let's go back to the early years of Kirby Smart, and let's talk about what Georgia was looking like going into the 2017 season. Mm-hmm. So we'll start with the running backs. I don't have to give too much description here. It was Nick Chubb returning. It was Sony Michel returning. Sony Michel was coming off of another strong season with the Bulldogs in 2016. Nick Chubb made his famous return from one of his knee injuries going into the 2016 season. But I would also say that, didn't get all of Nick Chubb. It still felt like he was holding back just a little bit. Wasn't his typical self.
Well, like half Chubb?
Really?
I'm sorry.
Trying to give a serious take? Derail the segment, why don't you? Don't feel like we got all of Nick Chubb in that season because, it's still rehabbing an injury. But anyways, I digress. Didn't get a full healthy Nick Chubb is what I'm saying. And so you got one back that had a really strong season and the other one felt like maybe a redemption year coming in. At wide receiver, Georgia's kind of working on replacing Isaiah McKenzie, this gadget wide receiver, who was the majority of the offensive production in the passing attack that year. But there was no need to worry because there was this Mecole Hardman guy kind of lurking in the shadows. Seemed like he was going to be the next up-and-coming guy in that position. Amongst the other returning wide receivers that year, you had Terry Godwin coming back for a third year. Riley Ridley, who was a young wide receiver in 2016, he felt like he was a promising prospect. And you had Javon Wims, who looked the part, looked great, just hadn't had enough opportunities to really showcase what he was capable of doing in an offense. Now we'll flip over to the defensive side of the ball. You had a rising star in Roquan Smith where it just felt like he was on the precipice of potentially becoming the best linebacker in all of college football. All of the potential in the world. So a really strong candidate there that you had at linebacker. At safety, they brought in a transfer by the name of J.R. Reed to pair alongside a veteran in the form of Dominic Sanders. At defensive line, it was just a bunch of sound football players. Guys like Tyler Clark, John Atkins, Trenton Thompson, Jonathan Ledbetter, Julian Rochester, just really good football players. Maybe not first-round draft prospects, guys that were going to be first off the board, but they were just really good football players. At outside linebacker, it was Lorenzo and Carter and Davin Bellamy who were the headliners of that group, but Natrez Patrick was right behind them. He was the next one in line behind those guys. So I say all of this to say this. Nate Frazier and Chauncey Bowens may never be Nick Chubb and Sony Michel, but they feel like two of the best options in the offense this upcoming year. What if London Humphreys is the Terry Godwin to this block, to this wide receiver room? What if Sokovie White-Helton is the new gadget on the block, like Mecole Hardman was? And what if C.J. Wiley and Talon Taylor fill the roles of Riley Ridley and Javon Wims? Third-year Chris Cole likely won't be what Roquan Smith was in 2017, but he could be just as impactful as Roquan Smith was in 2017. Perhaps one of these transfer safeties that Georgia brought in this offseason could be the next pairing to KJ Bolden, the veteran in the room. A new J.R. Reed on the block maybe that you find from one of these transfer safeties.
Shout out
that you
Tulsa.
pair up with the vet. And I don't think it's crazy at all to say that the defensive line room that consists of guys like Xavier McLeod, Jordan Hall, Nnamdi Ogboko, Joshua Horton, and Elijah Griffin could be a group of nothing but really good football players with some having star potential. That obviously being Elijah Griffin. He seems like the new up-and-coming on the block. And then also, I don't have to really connect the dots for you on this one. Jake Fromm was the starting quarterback in 2017 after the injury of Jacob Eason, and he was not only the starter, but he was one of the best leaders on the football team. All I got to say there for this upcoming year at quarterback. So I'm here to say that maybe this year's Georgia football team is very much like Georgia in 2017.
I think the thing that sticks out to me most from that 2017 season is that you had so many guys that loved that school, loved that team, and, potentially sacrificed. Now, it ended up being better for them, but Nick Chubb wasn't guaranteed to have the season he had in 2017. Sonny Michel wasn't. Lorenzo Carter, Davin Bentley, all those guys that came back did so because they loved playing for Georgia. They loved being a part of that team, and they wanted to build something special. You get a lot of those vibes this year. Gunnar Stockton, obviously, with all the NIL stuff that went on with him. Nate Frazier, for as much as he talks about how he loves this school, it seems like there's a bunch of guys on this roster that are here right now because they want to win and have the betterment of the team. So I absolutely can see the comparisons between, how it's a team that is one assembled and rooted in the fact that it's a bunch of guys that love playing for each other, and there's a bunch of similar types of body styles and skill sets on it.
No, I was not saying Gunnar Stockton is going to get hurt, guys. I'm saying that you have a great leader at quarterback that obviously guys rally around that. I wasn't saying Gunnar's going to get hurt. And I'm not saying that Georgia's ceiling is what Georgia's was in 2017 of coming up just short of a national title that year. That's not what I'm saying. The whole comparison is maybe this roster is built very similarly to what you had that year. And going back to your point about returning guys, like it's not in the same capacity of guys coming back for a final season. But now that you have the transfer portal, guys can go and enter the portal. They can leave after 2 years or 1 year or 3 years. Like there are guys that chose to stay at Georgia, guys that chose to return to the University of Georgia because they believe in what they're building right now, what they have on this roster, and the coaching staff that they have right now.
They love that G.
Yeah, exactly.
They love that G. Pierce Sperlin, it's the low end.
Okay.
Could I interest you in some Mike Gesicki?
Okay.
You know?
He was once on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
I don't hate
How tall
it.
is Mike Gesicki? Like 6'5"?
Oh, no. He's a good 6'6". He's tall, long, lanky. Couldn't quite put the meat on him to sustain at the NFL level, but, hey, dynamic weapon down the verticals. All right, so that's your tight end comp. Jonathan, you want your quarterback comp?
Yeah.
Now, don't get offended by this one. The low end of this, and I'm not saying aesthetically you look anything like this guy, but a height, weight, speed comp, Mike Glennon.
Oh, boy.
Dang,
you know what I mean?
You got Mike Glennon.
But if it goes right, now not from a playing standpoint, but an ultimate career standpoint, can I interest you in a Brock Osweiler?
Okay.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah?
You said, let me think of tall quarterbacks.
That'd be, that's the profile right there.
Got too many options.
Thankfully, a lot of my height doesn't come from my neck like Mike Glennon. I'm thankful for that.
Oh, dude. That guy got 3 necks. Yeah.
And not the typical 3 necks, not 3 chins, and 3 necks.
Yeah.
Stacked.
Yeah, it's
Man, it looked like a number 2 pencil.
It's not body shame Mike Glennon, guys.
Are we body shaming Mike Glennon or are we neck shaming Mike Glennon?
I mean, the neck is a part of the body, so to speak.
That's my comps for you.
All right. You gave your comps. I gave mine. Hopefully this one hits the same way it did last time.
Sorry I kind of derailed your segment a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I could even get a minute in.
Sorry.
Just completely
That's
had to.
on me. The sirens were going off. I had to say something.
Combine invites.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll get ours by Friday morning. I heard that's when the cutoff is. So.
Oh.
I think we're good. We're already in the NFL system.
I actually got an
applied
email
today.
that I had to just put a photo in for something. So
I put it in for you.
Oh, it's all sorry.
Everything should be good.
Okay, well, I got.
You got an email too?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you do it?
I'll do it tonight.
You don't need to. I already did it for you.
Okay.
I think we should be fine.
Okay.
We're good on that front.
I didn't get an email.
Well, because you didn't need a profile photo.
They know me.
I didn't either.
Hot commodity over
This
here.
is my third call. I wouldn't do that.
Boys rolling deep up into Indy. Mm-hmm. Should we take another rental car?
I imagine that's just kind of where we're at. That's just what we do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the funds to be flying us up there. So we'll be
I
grabbing an
checked
Enterprise
today,
rental car. Pretty steep.
Yeah, they weren't a month ago, but they are now.
What about hotels? Did you look into that?
Didn't look at hotels. Didn't get that far.
Maybe we can stay at the Thunderdome with Pat McAfee.
Maybe.
Sure, he's got a couch we can sleep on.
Yeah.
Pat, if you're listening
Does he
today.
have 3 couches, though?
I mean, you guys could sleep on the floor.
Oh,
I can read air mattress.
sure. Yeah. Of course I can.
It beats the Starkville trip from 2022.
What part of that one, thankfully?
Neither was I.
That was hell. Combine invites. There's 10 dogs going.
10 dogs.
One of them's Brett Thorson, though. So there's nine.
Oh,
Whoa.
whoa.
He's still a dog.
He's a
Oh,
dog.
no, he's a dog, but I mean, he's not going to be out there doing much.
No.
I want to see Brett Thorson run the 40.
I'm not sure Brett Thorson wants to see himself run the 40.
I think Brett Thorson would run the 40 as a joke.
Who on this stage could outrun Brett Thorson? You think we go 3 for 3?
I don't know.
I don't know. I've never
Brett
seen
Thorson
him open
strikes
the gate.
me as sneaky fast, like sneaky, like 4.
I mean, he spent most of his life running away from very venomous and dangerous animals out in Australia. So
Yeah,
I'd
according-
imagine he's
according-
got some kick to his step.
according to Nate Frazier, Australian football is different because you got to be careful about the spiders on the field.
Yeah,
That's right.
those spiders are quick. Gotta be quick yourself.
All right, there's 10 dogs at the Combine. We do this every single year. I started doing this in 2020, and we've done it every year since. I guess the 40s, based off what I've watched on film. Don't do too much calling around and asking if these are correct based off in-house testing that they do year over year. This is just a pure, straight-up guess. The worst 40 guess in the history of 40 guesses. Anybody remember what it was?
Oh,
It was George Pickens.
It was George
Yes.
Pickens,
You guessed like a
4.55,
4.5, yeah.
and he ran 4.41. Wow, that was crazy. Don't know if we're gonna have any of those this year. You ready? Start with Dylan Bell. We're going alphabetical order by positions. Start with the wide receiver room. Dylan Bell, Combine invite. 4.49.
that's exactly what I was going
I
to
was
say.
going to go
actually.
4.52.
4.49. And I think we might go on the high side there, but I'm not going to lowball these guys this year. We're going to be right, and if we're right, we're going to be low. Zachariah Branch. This is a 10.38 100-meter runner coming out of high school, and I think he's somehow quicker than fast. 4.38.
I was going to go 4.39.
And you have to know, like, this is the event that he has to show out on.
Oh, for sure.
like, if this
I mean,
guy,
we got to burn.
if this guy wants to be a second-round pick, like early day 2 selection, like this has got to be the one where it's like, oh, yeah, that guy's worth drafting.
How long ago did they replace that turf?
Oh, last year was the first year,
Yeah.
and you could tell.
So
And for we got to explain this to the chat because not everybody is a NFL Combine guru. The Indianapolis Lucas Oil Field turf was basically concrete. It was almost the closest thing to AstroTurf we had left. And then they completely redid that turf, and now there's far more pellets on it. You run slower because of it. Now, they also have far less soft contact or non-contact injuries
Correct.
because of it, but there's a reason for it. There's a reason why the times have gotten slower by 1/100th maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a major difference. But
it's
it
not,
is.
but it's a difference.
I don't think that 40 Combine record will ever be broken again.
No,
I don't think. The 4.21, I don't know if it'll ever be broken.
Witness history.
Colby Young, 4.55.
I was gonna go 4.53.
I think 4.58, 4.55. I don't know if I've ever seen Colby run and I'm like, damn.
Oh no, there was a play actually that we watched on film the other day that he was running so fast I didn't think it was Colby.
Huh. From the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah.
Was that the play Gunner almost died?
No. Yes, it was that one.
The yards after catch on that?
Yes,
Yeah,
I was like, that's not Colby Young. I was like, oh yeah, it is.
it was. People said, what was your guess on Jordan Davis? 4.99. I think he ran 4.78.
Yeah. But that one's so hard to.
I thought I was on crack saying he was going to run sub 5.
Right.
Going into that.
And also, like,
Also didn't know he was going to come in 30 pounds underweight.
and defensive linemen are hard to judge because hardly ever do you see them really
Open it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Jordan Davis did a few times chasing some quarterbacks down, and it was evident on tape there was some speed there.
Should you be upset Noah Thomas didn't get an invite? Should you be going to bat for that one?
I mean, he certainly showed that he's an NFL caliber prospect.
I feel like if you put up 800 yards in one season at any point in your career in the SEC,
Yeah,
you should
probably
get
should
an
I
get
was
invited.
personally surprised by it because of the sheer fact that he is like a prototypical NFL X build and showcased that at times this season. Obviously, the production was not there from Georgia's standpoint, what they were hoping that he was, but he had a multiple touchdown game. He had a 70-plus yard touchdown.
I'm not saying he's going to have the NFL success that this guy's already had because I'm pretty sure Dante Thornton Jr. is working out. Is that working out?
Is he working out?
He's on the Raiders. He's doing all right. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of upside and hope.
But that could have been this year's combine performance from a guy like Noah,
Yeah.
where you're almost 6'6", and that's another one of these kids that at 6'6" was a 10.8 kid in the 100. He's probably going to run 4.4 at the pro day. Like you would imagine, he's going to run pretty quickly. Could have been a huge stock rising opportunity.
I would
for
say
him.
that he's going to be the biggest story out of Georgia's pro day, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, the guys that go to Indy and do well, they just kind of show up.
Right.
My hamstring hurting.
Yeah.
My ankle hurt.
I'm over here eating the chips.
Let me go talk to who's ever here.
Let me go hype up whoever freaks on the bench press real quick.
Oscar Delp. Now, I got a little bit of insider trading on this one because I hand timed him illegally in high school. So. I hope the Nike opening's not listening.
Do they still do that?
They did. His was the last big one. I mean, he was out there. Jeremiah Smith was out there. I mean, they were dudes at that last Nike opening in LA. And yeah, they still do one. I think nowadays it's more 7-on-7 based. I saw something with one of those YouTube content creators, a wide receiver guy down there doing one-on-ones. So I have seen some opening content, but it's not near as what it used to be. 4.56 on Oscar Delp.
I'll go with your judgment. I'm gonna go 4.59 because he has put on some weight since then.
Since high school, I had him at a 4.51 at 230-ish pounds.
Okay, so
He's probably going to come into the combine at like 243, 244. So he'll be he's a guy that's already shooting up boards.
Yeah, people are catching on.
yeah, the Twitter scouts are drooling over this guy.
I talked about it last night. I've already gotten text messages like, why didn't this guy do he's a freak. Always has been. Monroe Freeling, 5.05.
Is he gonna run it?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Joe Alt did, though. I feel like really want to hammer home the Joe Alt comp. Go run 4.9 with a 1.78 split.
For someone like Monroe, maybe you do run it because you are very athletic.
Yeah,
like
and
that
you're
is one of your
fringe.
strong suits of being.
How else are we going to get drafted over Francis?
Yeah.
There you go. Like it could be very beneficial for him just to go out there and do as much as he
Mawanoa.
can.
Mawanoa.
I'm gonna go.
Really how you say that?
I'm gonna go 5.13.
Okay. What? Oh, you said 5.13. I'm like, whoa. Kristen, or I put Micah Morris, a DNR.
Yeah.
Do not run.
Do not.
Do not. I mean, that might 5.6.
He just needs to go do the bench press.
Has Micah fully sprinted? When was the last time Micah Morris fully sprinted?
I mean, there were times where I'm sure he had to out in the screen game a little bit.
I can guarantee you Micah Morris has never fully sprinted for 40 yards.
No.
During a game.
And this is also not going to be some Ben Cleveland story where we magically roll 4.81.
No, like
I don't think it's going to be one of those.
just go out there and show you're the strongest human.
Absolutely. Kristen Miller, 4.92?
I'll go 4.87.
Think so?
Yeah.
How well are we training out there in LA? That's the question.
Yeah. Don't D linemen typically lose weight for these types of events too, though? You got excess.
Unless you're an undersized edge rusher, and then you put on a bunch of weight, drink a lot of water before you weigh in. C.J. Allen's a tough one for me. 4.51. 4.51 is what I guessed. Really surprisingly tight-hipped for a guy that was sub 11 seconds in high school at 230 pounds.
Strikes me as an explosive guy, might not be like the top end speed.
Yeah. Like 0 to 20, we're going to be good. I think we're going to look like we're straining. It's going to be one of those where Daniel Jeremiah's like, ooh, he looks like he's efforting. Wow, 4.51. Didn't feel that fast. It's going to be one of those.
Yeah. Oh, he's moving.
I'm going to have a word with Daniel Jeremiah when I get up there in Indiana.
Also, just a quick question. This has nothing to do with the Bulldogs in this combine. Why do the people narrating the combine and broadcasting it treat it like it's a golf event?
Oh, that's a great question.
Like, it's like,
why do they feel like they have to whisper?
There's
it's like-
no atmosphere.
That's why.
But yeah,
You've
have
been
to.
there. There's no
It's
noise.
It's dead silent.
If you're loud and boisterous in that press box, the whole entire stadium can hear you.
like,
Yeah.
there's no need to shout.
I guess so. I don't know. I just feel like for a
You want to be, oh, we're cooking. We're cooking. And it's a 4-4.
yeah, dude, that'd be sick.
Oh my God, he improved his time.
Yeah, it's like,
4.53.
and here comes the linebacker from the University of Georgia.
I like it kind of. It's
I
just
do
like
too.
kick your feet up a little bit, have it on.
too
Trust
golfy
me,
to
if the vibe needed juice, Rich Eisen would meet it.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Rich Eisen's a goat.
I don't know.
I don't know about a goat.
I just
Pretty
feel
good.
like it's a little too golfy for me for a football event.
Dalen Everett 4.32.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 4.37.
I hope that happens.
I'll go 4.37. I think 4.32 is getting really
I think
close
Dalen
to
will
like-
be the fastest Georgia Bulldog at the combine
I don't doubt that at all.
faster than Zachariah Branch, huh? Mm-hmm. That's fair.
by a nudge.
Yeah.
And if you simulcasted them, Zachariah, would have like a full yard on him at the first 20, and then we'd nudge him out there at the end. Isn't it weird how they teach track guys to finish like that, but they don't teach guys in 40s to run like that?
Some of them do, though. I feel like some of them do try.
One of you track guys in the chat, help me out here. Do they actually teach that in track? The
I don't
sprinters
know.
finish?
I don't know.
Does it make you faster?
I don't know what the science is behind.
Because in
the
baseball, they
stadium.
teach you to run through the bag.
I think that might be a like when you're racing someone to very clearly cross the
Nudge
finish
'em.
line beforehand. I don't know how much like that movement.
Oh, the
saves
last
them.
time I watched 100 meter was Usain Bolt's time period. I haven't really tuned it into track since then. And old Tink Tink got me for a little bit.
They actually had a track event on at Paloma Park one time that I watched like a couple months ago. Which, by the way, R.I.P. R.I.P. downtown Athens, De Palmas. I don't know if anyone in the chat is familiar with the Athens area, but
Best breadsticks I've ever had.
February 27th, they will no longer be operating in businesses downtown. So, very sad about that.
They're doing something down there. Aren't they like redoing
Yeah,
the,
it's like it's supposed. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's basically the best way to describe it is like a big courtyard now.
Yeah, which is kind of what it's been for the last 10 years.
like that place we walked through in Texas A&M?
Not really.
Kind
Not
of.
like an avenue type joint, but
It's just
like
gonna
a,
be like one section.
Well, what it was, it used to be like a road, and then they were just like, all right, too many people walk here.
it
They
happened
put a-
during COVID. That's when they shut down the road.
Oh,
right
really?
there. Yeah,
I
it was
thought
during
it
COVID
was, I thought it
that
was
they
before
shut
that.
it down.
So they shut the road down, and now it's like, well, no one's using the road. Let's make this a courtyard for all the homeless people to sleep in.
Yeah, I can't remember why during COVID they shut that down, but I believe it was kind of one of those things of where they had to shut it down, and then they were like, "Oh, actually, this is a great idea. We'll just keep it shut down."
All right, so here's my promise to every single Georgia fan listening to me right now. I will not be watching that second half of that basketball game because it's too close for me to sway that one at all. I guarantee you, if I turned on that basketball
Don't do
game
it.
right now, Kentucky's going on a 10-0 run. Guaranteed.
Thank you for your service.
So,
Yeah,
Mike,
the other location's still open.
Mike Mobley, if you're listening right now out there in Cortina, I care about them Hoop Dogs, but they have asked me to stay away. The fan base has, so I'm staying away. I've covered more Hoop Dog games this year than ever before in my life. We'll see y'all tomorrow for film study. See you Thursday for a live show. Love you. Bye.